It's Wednesday, October 19th. And so, like I did last night, I am going to replay one of the episodes of the Big Picture that we have previously recorded. So that way I can get access to the file and put it over on the Bitchute channel. So, the episode that you're going to watch this evening is the very first episode of the Big Picture that we did. In this episode, we are going to be defining a lot of terms and trying to explain to folks, some of the things that they may be hearing on the news, but they may not know exactly what it means. So I'm going ahead and it's 3 hours long. It's like 3 hours and 5 minutes long. So I'm just going to let this play out. When I get a chance, I'll jump on the live chat. I'll be doing some errands along the way. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode. And if you have any questions or thoughts, please leave it in the comments, and I'll address them when I can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and turn the camera around and let's get it all set up. And here we go. Big Picture, Episode 1.
What your country can do for you, and what you can do for your country. What you can do for your country. Your country. Your country.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome in to a brand new program here on the Six Screens Telenetwork. Jimmy Bell, former Jehovah's Witness. Well, he's got a program now. We know Jimmy. We know he's been working on a lot of projects here in the last couple of years. He believes something is really wrong with what's going on in America right now. And
Just
he
a
wants
little
to
bit.
share some thoughts with you tonight. And he's going to have some guests come in as well. We got a number of clips we're going to be sharing. And Jimmy is going to really get you sitting on the edge of your seat tonight. So hello, Jimmy.
Good evening, Rick. How you doing, buddy?
Well, doing really good, Jimmy. Yes, we got a lot of people coming through our network tonight. So we're really looking forward to what you have to say. And I'll be here at the helm watching everything that's taking place. So if you need me, you let me know. I'm here, and you let me know the clips to play, okay?
I will absolutely do that. And thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
Good, thank you, Jimmy.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Big Picture. And this is where fearless minds prevail. First off, I want to say that I'm excited to be here. I hope that the information and the dialogue that we have this evening you find useful, valuable, something that you can take with you and share with others. First thing is I want to thank Rick Farron for allowing me to have this spot on Six Screens to be able to get this information out to folks. I really hope it does some good. Now, this show is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing on Six Screens. And there's a reason why for that. And the reason why is there's so much going on in the world. And I do believe that Watchtower is tied into a lot of the stuff that's going on. Now, we're not going to talk a lot about Watchtower tonight, but more so in a capacity of their relationship with the governments and the political corruption. Now, I'm not going to mention a lot about them this evening, but I need to set the stage for future episodes. So I'll get to that here in a second. But first off, who am I? Some of you have seen me on the Roundtable. That was the first series that I did with my buddies John and Deasis. You can actually find some of our old Roundtable videos on his YouTube page called Spirit Analyzer. You'll find the CO video, where I got him on hidden camera. You'll find the elders that I caught them on recording. So those are all there on Spirit Analyzer YouTube channel. There's also more episodes of the Roundtable that we did as well. But since then, we have actually branched out to talk about other things other than Watchtower. So we did reboot the Roundtable show, and you can find that on YouTube as well. I think we've done 4 or 5 episodes. And I think if you've watched those, you'll know why I'm doing tonight's episode and why I'm going down the road that I'm going down. Now, I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40 years. I was 6 years old when my mom started studying. My story, you can find it on the Spirit Analyzer page. You can find it on my YouTube channel under the playlist where it's Conflicted Christian Leaves Watchtower. I think that's what the title of it is. But I go more in depth in my background, but we have so much information to talk about tonight that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I was disfellowshipped in 94, got reinstated in 97, went inactive till 2010. Had some issues in my life that I was like, why is my life just all messed up? Oh, that's because you're not doing it Jehovah's way. So I went back to the organization, just never felt the love like I did when I was a teenager. And I started asking questions. And we all know that is the last thing you can do as a Jehovah's Witness is to start asking questions. So ended up waking up on December 4th of 2018, went through all the emotions of waking up, hooked up with the ASIS on a phone call. That was in January of 2019. Went to a meetup in March of 2019, and that's when I met John and Beth, and we all became instant friends. Then we created the Roundtable, did a bunch of episodes on that, had a really great time doing that. And then we all had to kind of take a break because that's what you really need to do when you wake up. You do have to take a break and just find out who you are. And so we had to go through some downtime. I went through some personal stuff. Dee went through some personal stuff. John was working on some things. And we just took that time to grow as individuals and to heal more from after leaving the Watchtower. And I tell you what, it was very eye-opening. I went to a therapist for a while. I totally recommend that if you have just left the organization or you're having difficulties, yes, please go seek therapy because it's very valuable. You may not think so, but it really is. And so then in March of 2020, we all know what happened then. And I started to ask questions again. And so if you want to see more of that path, go watch After the Storm. It is on the Six Strings channel. After the Storm episode on May 28th, I think it was. It was with Gail and Delon, and I talked more about that. But anyway, so that's been my background. I'm on a geopolitical route right now. And the reason why is because I really do feel that Watchtower is part of a deep state globalist agenda. And, you know, if it's walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it must be a duck. So anyway, so what are my expectations for this show and why I chose the name The Big Picture? Well, everyone has their own journey. And all I am doing is sharing my journey with you. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm not going to expect you to listen to everything I say and be like, oh, Jimmy's... No, go look it up for yourselves. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just sharing information with you guys to help you out. Because one thing about being in Watchtower is we were always told to look at Watchtower material and never go beyond that. Well, I've gone beyond that, and now I know why they don't want us do it or didn't want us doing that. So, also, too, it is okay to agree to disagree. Tonight, I have no time for haters or trolls. It's just not going to happen. If someone is causing a problem, I'm going to ask politely that Rick just get rid of them because I'm not dealing with that. I've got too much to talk about. There's too many people that actually want to learn other stuff. So if you're not ready to learn, you might as well go ahead and turn this off now. I'm just being straight. And for those that know me, I'm not being arrogant. I'm just being straight with you. And I think that's been the problem with the society we live in, is people have been so, we can't use that word, soft, that they just don't know how to handle somebody that will just speak boldly, courageously, and straight to the point. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I'm willing to have mutual, respectful conversations with folks, because I have found that when I do that, I can always learn something new from somebody. And that's what we need to realize too, is when we're talking with people, just don't put your thoughts, don't try to put your thoughts in their head and hear your thoughts coming out of their mouth. Okay? So you really just have to be respectful to one another. Once you see what I have to show, you'll realize that we all have the same enemy, and we should not be fighting against each other. We should not be trying to tear down one another. We should be united in helping humanity, basically. So like I said, there's so much information I'm going to share tonight. And if you are somebody that had watched the Great Reset video that we did on the roundtable, then this is what I'm going to do tonight, is going to be in that format, to where I'm going to pretend like I'm a teacher and I'm just sharing the information with the class. You can take that information, you can go home and do your own homework and do the study on it, and come back, we can talk about it. Or you could be that kid in the class that doesn't want to do anything. So it's your choice. It's completely your choice with what you do with tonight's episode. So why do I call this the big picture? Well, let me read one of, by the way, I do have a team that has been helping me, and I want to give a shout out to Lori, Tracy, and Laurel. Thank you, ladies, so very much for helping me put this together. I really appreciate all the hard work you guys did. And during this episode, I'm going to be reading some of the information that they presented. And actually, I'm going to do that right now, especially when it comes to explaining what the big picture is. So Lori wrote to me, she said, Jimmy, here's one way to look at it. The big picture is like one big puzzle. Each of us are putting together the same puzzle, but we are not putting the same pieces together at the same time. Some pieces will be harder for some than others, but as they are building it, eventually they will all fit together. If you don't give them all the information, puzzle pieces, they'd never finish it. With all the information, the puzzle pieces, at some point they'll figure out where to go. It's like a virtual puzzle in a game of life. And for anybody that's watching my videos here lately, that's what I've been talking about. What we see going on in the world right now is a big puzzle. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to try to put the frame together. Now, because this information is going to be new for some, and some are going to be like, oh my God, Jimmy, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't care if you say that. I really don't care. But cognitive dissonance is going to set in. And we had talked about, Rick talked about this, and I think it was the lady before, Mary, she mentioned that. But cognitive dissonance is a theory in social psychology. It refers to the mental conflict that occurs when a person's behaviors and beliefs do not align. It may also happen when a person holds two beliefs that contradict one another. Then I found another explanation of cognitive dissonance, but this is more along the spiritual vibe sort of thing, the energy, okay, which I'm really into as far as being able to vibe with somebody and I can read their energy field and things like that. But anyway, so this definition of cognitive dissonance says, once you have awakened to the true nature of reality, you will experience dissonance with others around you. It can become more difficult to connect with others when your perception of reality doesn't match up with their perception. You may feel the need to explain to them what you experience, but this often results in friction and incomprehension. People can only comprehend what their vibrational match to. If their level of consciousness is not at the same frequency you are broadcasting from, they can simply not hear you. So let others have their own process. Let them make their own choices and let them make their own mistakes. It's like it are all just experiences that lead them to their own path of awakening. And like I've said before, if you look at a timeline and it's an awakening timeline, there's people that have just woke up and there's people that have been awake for a while. Where you fit on that timeline, that's for you to deal with. So I'm not going to bash anybody who is not where I'm at on some of these things. It's not going to happen. And I also would ask that, you don't do that to me. So we can have a lot of fun here tonight. So the title of tonight's episode is Putting the Frame Together. That's what we're going to do. Because when you have a puzzle, the first thing you do is you look at what? The big picture. That's what you look at. Then you open the box, and what's the first thing you do? You pick out the pieces of the frame. Now, the reason I mention this is because tonight's information is going to be definitions. These are going to be things that you may be seeing on social media that you may not understand. You might have an idea, but you're not really sure. So I could actually do an hour episode on the 10 things that I'm going to talk about tonight. But tonight, I'm just going to briefly mention them. We're going to discuss them, and then we're going to move on. And then later on, as we go on in the programming, then we'll start working on this corner. And then we'll move to this corner, or wherever I'm pointing to. And eventually, Watchtower is going to be in this as we go through this. So that is my little introduction and everything. And as of right now, I would like to bring on my guest. Rick, do we have my guest available? Yay! We have Gail from After the Storm. She had me on 2 weeks ago, and it's her fault that I'm doing this show. Welcome, Gail. Can you hear us?
I said, you're welcome.
All
How
right.
are you? Glad to be here.
I'm doing good. And we have my
Hey.
Welcome, buddy.
I had to be fashionably late.
Now, of course you did. I would expect nothing less.
Right.
So you guys
Yeah, as soon as I walked off, too.
What's that?
I said it was as soon as I walked off, too. You were like, hey. I'm like, oh, crap.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys tonight. Gail, first thing I want to say to you is thank you for allowing us to have the After the Storm time tonight. You and I talked about this, and I know that you really wanted to be involved in this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now tell me, why did you want to be involved with this episode in particular?
Well, when we invited you to come on After the Storm, I saw you. By the way, your promoting skills are off the charts. You promote like crazy. So yeah, when I invited you, I saw in the Facebook groups like, I'm gonna drop bombs and this and that. I'm like, I didn't ask for bombs. I was panicking like, I didn't ask for bombs. You're gonna get us canceled.
Send in the bombs.
So when you came on, I was pleasantly surprised at the reaction we were getting. Like, people wanted more. And it's such a big change from 2 years ago, where we couldn't talk about this stuff, and it clicked in my head. I'm like, wow, things have changed. People are ready for answers. They want to know what's happening. They want to know what's going on. So I'm so happy that this opportunity opened up for you. I love the name of the show, The Big Picture, because you went outside. You stepped outside of the little bubble that we were in, and showed us something new. And I think you deserve this, because you were the one that put your neck on the line. You kept going when, people would knock you down for saying whatever. And now it seems like they're coming full circle. Like, oh, he was right. But yeah, in March of 2020, when all that stuff happened too, I just had to step back and like, there's more more to wake up to. And so when you started the other Facebook group, that was the first time I had heard I think the first time people were hearing the term deep state, and it resonated with me. And I'm like, yeah, it's much bigger than we thought.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
So So, Deasis, what are you looking forward to tonight?
The bombs. Oh, yeah.
Well, they will be there. I've got several. And so, you know, when we talk about a subject, I'll get you guys feedback on it. And as far as the callers are concerned, please let me just direct when we're willing to take callers, because we've got
liberals. Please call the show. Please call the show, liberals.
The reason why is because I got so much information and so many different things we want to go over. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We've got 10 different things to talk about. Y'all ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, we're ready.
All right. So the first term that we are going to define is red pill and blue pill. All right. Now, some of you, like I said, as we go through this information tonight, some of you are already going to know this stuff, but just go with it, okay? Please. So the terms red pill and blue pill. Oh, also too, by the way, hey, the Aces, does this look familiar?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Hey, listen, don't get him started.
The binder.
Don't do it.
I
You know everything.
got a binder tonight. We're going through all this.
Just one?
Yeah, just one for tonight.
Where's the rest of them?
They're over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, I believe you.
All right. So let's start. The term red pill and blue pill refers to a choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill or remaining in contented ignorance with the blue pill. The terms refer to a scene in the 1999 film The Matrix. And if you're behind the scenes at the moment, could you play clip 1?
Right now, we're all feeling a little strapped.
Just gonna play an
Weekends is
ad
still
here,
all
Jimmy
about
Briggs. I'll be right on afterwards.
This keeps prices low on our fresh ingredients, so you can save money and live better.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to do. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
All right, thank you, Rick, for playing that. So everybody who's seen The Matrix knows that scene, knows what The Matrix is all about. I love that movie. And actually, some have said it's not science fiction, it's actually a documentary for what we're dealing with today.
Basically.
So, the red pill represents an uncertain future, unknown to Neo at the time he takes the red pill. It would free him from the enslaving control of the machine-generated dream world and allow him to escape into the real world. But living the truth of reality is harsher and more difficult. We'll get into that in a second. On the other hand, the blue pill represents a beautiful prison. It would lead him back to ignorance, living in confined comfort without want or fear within the simulated reality of the Matrix. Neo chose the red pill and joined the rebellion. Now, I want to go back to the point in there where it says, but living the truth of reality is harsher and more difficult. Jesus, have you found it difficult to communicate with folks who have not taken the red pill?
Impossible. I mean, there is no, I put this on my Facebook the other day, and it's so true. I said, those who trust in the media cannot be reasoned with. And I really believe that to be true. There is no, sometimes I feel like there really is no waking them up. There is no convincing them. There is no reasoning with them. There is no, ability for them to grasp another perspective or to look at something from different angles.
Correct. I found the same thing. Gail, what about you?
Yeah, same thing. It's like talking to a brick wall. Like they're not hearing you. They're going, yes, okay. But they're really not hearing you. Yeah.
Now, aside from talking to other people, let's look inward. And I'll start with how it's been harsher for me. It's like when I see all this stuff going on in the world and I've woke up to what's been going on, it really makes me feel like I've been lied to my whole life. That I've been living in an illusion, dare you say, Matrix. It's like nothing is real anymore. Have y'all felt the same way?
Oh, yeah. What's reality? It makes you think, like, are we the crazy ones? Like, is it
Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Exactly, like that.
If there's one thing that I've seen, I would say that it really, and this is not an overstatement or exaggeration, truth is truly stranger than fiction.
Yes. There was actually somebody that said that if there was a book written about what's going on in this world right now, people wouldn't even believe it. I mean, so...
No, I wouldn't believe it anyway.
Yeah, you're right. And, I just saw a comment in the chat. I might not see everything, guys, because there's a lot of them. But I did see something that said blue pill equals watchtower and deep state. You could have not been more correct on that, viewer. So that's pretty cool. Now, by the way, the information that I'm pulling from tonight, because I like to give my sources, tonight's information is all coming from Wikipedia. Now, the reason I started with Wikipedia is because most people, that is their go-to. They go there, all right? Now, if you watched our first episode of the Roundtable Show, Critical Thinking Outside the Watchtower, we talked about resources and where different sources stand politically in their agendas or whatever. And we have come to the conclusion that Wikipedia is more left-leaning. So, and that's true. They are.
Yeah.
I'll be able to prove it tonight, even if you didn't see Critical Thinking Outside of the Watchtower. So I wanted to start with that so nobody can accuse me of, oh, Jimmy, you're just reading from right-wing sources. No, it's all from Wikipedia, and I can prove every bit of it. So, all right, so that was number one, red pill, blue pill. I think we've covered that. Let's go on to point number two, and that will be information warfare. Because I really do believe, folks, we are already in World War III.
Yeah.
Okay? We are already in World War III. And this war is an irregular warfare. This isn't a war with bombs going off, missiles going off all over the place, people dying in the streets. Thank God this is not a war like that. The war that we're in right now is an information war. So I'm going to explain the players, some of the players, and I'm going to explain the agendas behind this. Because think about it, if you can control the information, you can control the people. Think about Watchtower. They control the information and what you're allowed to see or what you're allowed to look up. And then guess what? They control you. Am I wrong? I don't think so. So anyway, let's explain information warfare. Y'all having fun yet?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Information
See, we get
warfare.
to watch movies on the show and learn.
Exactly. Exactly. And I got about 5 or 6 more clips, so we're just getting started. All right, so let's explain information warfare. It is a concept involving the battle space use and management of information and communication technology in pursuit of a competitive advantage over an opponent. Information warfare is the manipulation of information trusted by a target without the target's awareness so that the target will make decisions against their interest, but in the interest of the ones conducting information warfare. Think about this, folks. Think about it. Open your mind. Think about Watchtower. Think about the media, which we're going to get into. As a result, it is not clear when information warfare begins, ends, and how strong or destructive it is. Information warfare may involve the collection of tactical information, assurances that one's information is valid, spreading of propaganda or disinformation to demoralize or manipulate the enemy and the public, undermining the quality of the opposing force's information and denial of information collection opportunities to opposing forces. Information warfare is closely linked to psychological warfare. Then, information warfare can take many forms. It can be television, internet, radio transmissions. Those can be jammed. Television, internet, radio transmissions can be hijacked for a disinformation campaign. Logistic networks can be disabled. Enemy communication networks can be disabled or spoofed, especially online social community in modern days. The use of, this is communication management and synthetic media. So that is the definition of what an information warfare is. Gail, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, they bombard you with so many different things at the same time that you don't know what to believe. And then you get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't want to think about it. So you're just taking in the information, but it's like accepting something. They're doing it to you without your consent, really. And your silence is your consent. So if you don't take the time to stop and examine the information that's being given to you and you just believe it. But first they set the groundwork for us to believe them is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did it in Watchtower. They did it in media. They're the trusted source in news. They're the trusted source in this. So, but if you sit back and look at it, it's been a deep betrayal.
Yes.
The information that you're giving, it's a really deep betrayal because you believe them. You believe that these the broadcasters were honest, pure people, and it's just all been a lie.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz, your thoughts on the information warfare? Do you have any?
Yeah, no, just that. I mean, you look at the media and you compare the stories that they post and come out with, and they're pretty much quoting from the same script every single time. And if you try to go and post something that's a counter opinion on, say Facebook or some kind of popular social media, if that starts to gain any kind of momentum, which we saw with COVID, it gets deleted, it gets taken down, your Facebook page gets blocked. I mean, man, I'm telling you, it's like if it was so invalid. They sure as hell go through a lot to try to silence it.
Yes. And
And
just
if it's not on the news, they don't believe it. I'm sorry, Jimmy. If
oh
it's
no,
not
you're
on
fine.
the news-
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Gail. But I've had
Yeah.
people say, "Well, I didn't see that
Is it on the
TV."
news? Exactly.
I'm like,
My-
really?
Yeah.
Really?
The news, yeah, like who believes that anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, y'all just wait. No, point number 5 is going to be Operation Mockingbird. So we're going to
Okay.
we're going to
Okay.
circle back. We're going to circle back to that. Exactly. But talking about censorship, yeah, just today I got a notification saying that I cannot participate in my groups. I can't post in groups for 29 days. I can't go live, and I can't advertise. That just came in today.
Oh my God.
You're kidding me for what?
I just because I said to Kim and Mikey, I put a comment and I said I was going to be dropping bombs on the XJW community tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That is what they got me for. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So
Hate speech. Hate speech.
yeah, for real. So in total, I think I have like 61 Facebook violations.
Oh my God.
Yes. Way to go, Jimmy.
61
Hey, you
Facebook
need
violations.
like some medals of honor, man.
I know, right?
Good job. Veteran.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been in Facebook jail many times. So that should tell you that they don't want the information they don't want that information out because it goes against their narrative, and they don't want regular people seeing this. And we call those normies. The definition, real quick, for normies are the folks that have not woke up yet. They don't know really what's going on. It's just the mass of people. That's why they're called normies. It's no disrespect. That's just what they're called. So speaking of that, since we're going into explaining who's who, we're going to talk about 2 sets of folks, the white hats and the black hats.
Mm.
This information was provided to me from one of the girls on the research team. I want to think it was
Yeah, I want to hear this. This
Lori.
is for me.
All right, so it's kind of lengthy. So I'm going to point out some things, and then we'll talk about it as we go through. Okay. White hat and black hat originally came from the old movies like the Westerns. Bad guys wore the black hats and good guys wore the white. Then shows with cops, good cops and bad cops. Later in the computer age, hackers, this is important, later in the computer age, hackers were labeled black hat hackers that infiltrated security systems with malicious or criminal intent. It has evolved into the world that we are now living in. Those in power with good intentions are white hats, and those in power with malicious and bad intentions are the black hats. In context of exposing the big picture of today's world we are living in, let's go ahead and define what a black hat is, and then we'll talk about the white hats. Black hats, they have high-level clearance officials, or they are high-level clearance officials that have been operating with a plan to create the NWO, New World Order, we're going to talk about that later, and bring in the Great Reset, which we've already talked about, Dee. They encompass most branches of the government, the mainstream media, and our medical industry. Now, I just want to make a point on that where it says they encompass most branches of the government, the mainstream media, and our medical industry. Folks, if you heard JFK give a speech, I think it was, oh God, I don't remember the date, but he said that the United States, it would be infiltration instead of invasion. And so these folks that want to push this NWO, this Great Reset, these black hats, they have infiltrated not only the United States, but other countries as well, as we'll get into that later in the program as well. So no military out there could come in and just obliterate the United States. It just wasn't going to happen. So what they had to do is they had to infiltrate our country. And we'll talk more about that. So back to black hats. By controlling the news, they've been able to control all of us, lie to all of us, and get us to follow their mind-controlling agenda. Everything is connected. Follow the money, and you'll find BlackRock and Vanguard at the top, along with famous names in the Illuminati bloodlines like Rockefeller, Rothschild, DuPont, Disney, Russell, to name a few. They own everything. World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and hundreds of organizations that are in lockstep in every industry, from money to medical to government. Think Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The evil we will expose will be shocking and hard to accept. It goes all the way back to sacrificing children in the Bible days. Children are sacrificed, and the goal of the NWO is being carried out by the Black Hats to gain complete control and world dominance. This is a war going on between the Black Hats and the White Hats. The New World Order is one world government, one world religion, one world leader, one world currency. Black Hats have been working to create this for decades. All right, so that's the Black Hats. Any additional thoughts you guys want to share on them?
Got it. I think that covers it.
Okay, all right, so let's move to the White Hat. White Hats, high clearance officials operating in direct opposition to the deep state, moves and counter moves, exposing the deep state by letting them create mayhem, open borders, gun control, election fraud, medical tyranny, food shortages. There's a reason why all this stuff is happening, folks. Special military forces, Space Force. A lot of folks thought that when Space Force was created, it was going to be to combat the aliens. No, Space Force was created to monitor cyberspace. So the alliances, there are other countries that are against Trump and his alliances. I'm going to stay away from talking about him as much as I can tonight, but this is valid. Trump and his alliances, there are other countries that are against the New World Order and are in this fight to bring those countries, or bring down those fighting for the NWO Great Reset. So I'm going to go ahead. Bomb number one. Trump, Putin, Xi, Kim, Modi, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Bolsonaro, and about 23 other countries. They're all working together right now to bring down this deep state globalist agenda. They are all
sound effects for that.
they are all working together. Now, like we said, we are putting the frame together tonight. We'll go into more about this later on, but there, just put that in the back of your head. Go research that. All right. So, some Supreme Court justices have been put in place, and some have already been caught and are now operating under white hat orders. You won't always know who is who. There are many things going on behind the scenes that we will not see in the public eye. As a matter of fact, I think it's about 20% of all that's going on right now is what we'll see. We won't see 80% of it. And the reason why we won't see about 80% of it is because what has been done to this world is so shocking. People would need therapy, hospitalization.
Mm-hmm.
It's that horrific, folks.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that explains the white hats and the black hats. Well, like I said, I wanted to mention that term because that's what we'll be referring back to. So, I wanted the viewers to know, what we're talking about. So, anything else on that? We just rolling right along right now.
Well, that's part of the psychological warfare. If we can tie that back in, where Klaus Schwab says you'll own nothing and be happy. That's messing with your brain. Like, you're talking about me giving up my freedom and I'm gonna be happy. So they're programming the thought into you that control equals happiness.
Yep.
And we've seen the organization that we came from says that shunning is love. So they all use the same playbook. But the white hats, the white hats and the black hats, they appear to be on the same team. in the same country, but they're fighting. They're clearly have two different agendas going on.
And think about this too, folks. The United States and other countries, they have been infiltrated by these bad actors. Don't think that these bad actors in their organizations haven't been infiltrated by the white hats. Yeah.
That's
yeah. So you're gonna see things on the media like Rachel Maddow. Okay, everybody knows that Rachel Maddow is far left. What did she do yesterday? Okay, we know she disappeared for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
She came back yesterday, and you know what she said yesterday? That the J6 thing that happened was not started by the people at the rally. It started way before the people at the rally got there. But that's not what she was saying when this all went down. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So,
Mm-hmm.
did she make a deal? We don't know. But it's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, folks, remember, what I do on this is I ask questions. I try to get people to think outside the box. That's all this is designed to do. Okay. All right, so let's move into point number 4. Let's define the deep state globalists, the creepy dudes. All right, so first off, let's see what Wikipedia has to say about the deep state. Let's read this one. Wikipedia says, deep state is a type of governance made up of potentially secret and unauthorized networks of power operating independently of a state's political leadership in pursuant of their own agenda and goals. Potential sources for deep state organizations include rogue elements among organs of state, such as the armed forces or public authorities, such as intelligence agencies, police, secret police, administrative agencies, and government bureaucracies. So we can see, according to Wikipedia, that these folks, it says potential sources for deep state to basically infiltrate. Do we see that? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because
I mean, if you look for it, I think you'll see it.
yeah, because how many times do we see something going on in the government bureaucracy or administrative agencies that they put out something that goes against the Constitution? That's one thing these folks, they don't like. They do not like our Constitution. So
yeah, and things happen, and you wonder, is that what I voted for?
exactly.
So basically, the deep state is something you didn't vote for.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Absolutely. Because it says that they are in pursuant of their own agenda and goals.
Right.
And what's one of their goals? Like you just said, Gail, that Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing and be happy. That's a goal that they have. And I'm serious, folks. If you haven't gone and seen the Great Reset video that me and Deasis and John did, please
Definitely.
go watch.
He wrote a book.
Yeah.
He wrote a book called The Great Reset. Read it.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it.
They put the information out there.
And that's what folks need to remember too. These people, they put the information in because that's what they're supposed to do according to like their secret covenant or whatever. They're supposed to tell the people what they're going to do. Predictive programming. This is what they do. And so they have to tell people that they're going to do this, and then people aren't really paying attention because they're so distracted. So then the deep state's like, oh, okay, well, people don't care. And they go ahead and do their crap. That's how we've gotten the mess we're in right now because people fell asleep.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like conditioning.
it's kind of what?
I said it's kind of like conditioning.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
Totally is. I mean,
Kind of
everybody.
get used to it.
Yep. Exactly. And Watchtower has done it, and they're still doing it. So, like I said, folks, we're going to connect Watchtower to all this stuff eventually.
Yeah. It's in movies, it's in TV shows, it's in cartoons. There's a clip of of the X-Files that came out in 2016. It's floating around now. I wish I could get it up, but do you have that clip, Jimmy?
Somewhere here on my,
clip?
somewhere
Okay.
on my phone.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah,
on my
but that
phone.
one's very telling. I'll try to see if I can post it somewhere, but they talked about exactly what's happening right now in
Yeah.
2016. So they put it in the movies, and believe it, sports is another industry that has been infiltrated too.
Absolutely. Look at how many agendas they're pushing. Why can't they just go play basketball?
Right.
Why do they got to push a political agenda?
And the next agenda is determined by who wins. So let's see.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that in a couple weeks when the series is over.
Yeah.
We'll see what the next. It really is connected to the next agenda.
Exactly. So moving on, it talks about forms of the deep state. It says a government run by an unelected bureaucracy or branch of the security services. So it says an unelected bureaucracy. Did anybody elect Fauci? Did anybody elect Bill Gates? Did anybody elect Klaus Schwab?
True, right?
Yeah.
A state within a state or deep state, that's what it says, state within a state. A shadow government, and Wikipedia says, a conspiracy theory of a secret government. This is where Wikipedia threw that in. They said it's a conspiracy theory of a secret government, which we're going to get into that too.
Yeah. Those people weren't on the ballot. I didn't see their names on the ballot.
So who makes up these deep state individuals we talked about the bureaucracy.
You don't see anything in the wars in Ukraine.
What was that?
When it comes to Ukraine,
We're gonna, hey, sir, you have to stop. You can't talk right now, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So going on, let's talk about some of the components that make up these deep. One, you have their foot soldiers. Foot soldiers are your protest groups. They are lawyers. They are judges. They are prosecutors. These people have been bought off. Antifa that goes out and protests, they get paid by George Soros. If you don't know who that guy is, look him up. He's a creepy dude as well. So you got foot soldiers that go out and do the work. It's like a war. Think about it. These foot soldiers are their infantry. Okay, so they go out and they do all the dirty work. Then you have the puppet masters. These are the folks behind the scenes pulling the strings. And, you know, we've heard the phrase, the invisible enemy. These are people that you usually don't see in the news because they don't want to be in the news because they don't want to be found out. The swamp. Everybody's heard that phrase. The swamp is deep. The swamp is wide. It goes from the top all the way down to your local school boards.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's massive.
And like Gail, like you said, it's in our sports. It's in our movies. It's in our literature that we read. It's in our face every day. So that is the swamp. Now, let's look at two folks fighting that. We have the Global Alliance, which I've touched on before. There's about 23, I think it's 30, total 32. Total of 32 nations that are fighting this. So that would be the Global Alliance. And then you might have seen this, especially if you follow me on Facebook, digital soldiers. Now, digital soldiers, we are the ones that we just want the truth. And we can say that fake news, that journalism is dead. So you can look at us as being just journalists. What's a real journalist do? They dig for information. They look for that right information. They try to make sure that it's coming from 3, 4, 5 different sources, and so that it can be legit. And then we put it out. The digital soldiers are here to combat the social media platforms and the information that they're trying to push to win over the people. They're telling you lies. We are honestly just trying to get you to open your mind and think and look at things a little bit differently than what you've been told. So that's what digital soldiers do. And we're worldwide. It's not just happening here in the United States. What we see going on right now is happening worldwide. It's no joke. It's completely legit when I say that. So anyway, so those are the 5 different things under Deep State Globalist. Any other additions you guys want to make to that?
No. You covered it.
All righty. All right,
Did
so-
you I'm sorry, did you name the entities that are possibly the shadow government? Did you name them? WFC. Is that later? I'm sorry.
We can talk about it.
Okay. I didn't know if you had it now or later.
Talk, Color Revolution, Crisis Actors. I kind of go into that when we talk about the New World Order.
Okay. All right.
We do have that coming up.
Okay.
So
That's
we can
fine.
talk about that then.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's move on to point number 5. Let's check the time. So we are an hour in. Okay, so we're doing good. So first is Operation Mockingbird. This is going to be a fun one. All right. So Wikipedia says Operation Mockingbird, get this, is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence that began in the early years of the Cold War. It says alleged. Do you see why I'm not a big fan of Wikipedia? Because we can see that happening. And we'll get to a clip in that here in a second. According to author Deborah Davis, Operation Mockingbird recruited leading American journalists into a propaganda network and influenced the operations of front groups. CIA support of front groups was exposed when the April 1967 Ramparts article reported the National Students Association received funding from the CIA. In 1975, Church Committee congressional investigations revealed agency connections with journalists and civic groups. So, let's go to Rick. If you're there, can we play clip number 2 and show an example of the Operation Mockingbird?
Go ahead, give me a little more information. You didn't give me the numbers, but who was on the clip?
That was the one where everybody's saying the same thing? The news?
Yep, there it is. That's the one I was talking about earlier.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This one here, I think.
Yes.
All right, let's play it.
To serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso Los Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
we are truly proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS4 News produces.
This is my $200 million
Right.
strategy
Just let it
yeah.
Massachusetts.
But
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking fact first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the community use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Oh yeah, this is good stuff, man.
I mean, seriously?
Oh yeah.
They're saying the same thing.
It's not scripted at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, if people, you need to know that these media corporations are owned by 6 different companies, which it goes up the ladder. And these 6 corporations, they put out 4 a.m. talking points and they send it out to all the media You know, why do you think they're called fake news?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, the way it's gone right now, they can put out a story and the digital soldiers can debunk it within like a day or two. We debunk it in a day or two.
Yeah.
So sometimes it may take some time for the truth to come out, but it comes out. So now what does the media do? How do they attack their opponents? They use a thing, you know, they come out there, they put out something about somebody, and they leak it to the media, and the media reports on it. And then the politicians will say, look, it's in the New York Times, or it's in the Guardian. So that's called a wrap-up smear campaign. And Rick, can we play clip number 3, please?
You didn't number them, Jimmy. Who's on the clip?
Nancy Pelosi.
All right, give us a second to do that. Just take us a second, Jimmy. I just got to get in there and share. It just takes a couple of seconds to do that. So just bear with us, and we'll get to it.
Take time.
Lindsay.
Things are going good here tonight so far. Things are going pretty good, Jimmy. Keep up the good work. So let me select that one right here. We got Nancy Pelosi. All right, let's get her up. Let's share her. Here we go. Well, let me see, Jimmy. I'm not sure what happened.
I think that was the end of the clip. You need to just rewind it.
Let me rewind it. Hold on 1 second. Let me bring it back. Actually, it's
And it's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and if they see it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident.
Out of her own mouth. This is what they do. And so when they put a smear on somebody and they leak it out to the media puts it out, and then what do the people do? They believe it. They repeat it. And then you find out later on, oh, that person didn't do that. They lied about what that person did. How often are we seeing that now?
Mhm.
Let's talk. You want to talk about the Russian hoax? Russia? Yeah, it was bull crap. It was a wrap-up smear campaign. And there's plenty of proof for that. It's all coming out right now. So, thoughts, guys? Sorry, I get wound up sometimes.
That's okay. This is what you're passionate about.
I mean, the first time we started hearing about Ukraine here recently, to me, it was like, okay, the COVID thing and the COVID narrative is falling apart. Now they need something to distract the hell out of you from that. And another thing that I thought, and it was kind of funny, if Vlad Putin got that mad, America must have done something to really piss him off. Just seems to be the pattern. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Yeah. I was looking at somebody said us is at war with Russia. Folks, we're not at war with Russia. The deep state's at war with Russia. The United States, the people of the United States, we are not at war with Russia. I'm just going to, and I can talk about that more. Russia they're not looking to invade Ukraine as far as take them over. They are taking out biolabs. They are taking out baby making factories. They are taking out deep state assets that are in that country that have been used for money laundering and many different things. Think about it. If the United States had biolabs right over on the Mexican border, do you not think we wouldn't take care of those? Do we want those on our border? Mm-hmm. So why would Putin want those on his border? And the thing, So yeah, again, puzzle. We can talk about more of that later. We're just putting a framework together tonight. All right. So another thing is we can't really believe everything that we see on TV. We can't believe literally
anything that we see on TV.
What's that, buddy?
I said we can't believe anything that we see on TV.
No, and I'll tell you what. Let's go to clip number 4, use of mask, Rick, and let's play that to the 2-minute 3 mark, please.
All right, let's get it on here right now. The use of masks. Let's get that on right now. That would be the CIA chief.
Yes.
Okay, let's get her up. Let's get it on. All right, let's play it.
One of the things that was going on when I was chief of disguise was that.
Hold on.
Love these ads.
Yeah, the ads. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
An enormous research program into the new advanced disguise system. It was basically the masks that everybody always wondered if we used masks, and this was the beginning. This is a series of photographs of when I met George H.W. Bush in the Oval Office and revealed to him that I was briefing him wearing a mask.
Now, in particular, and regarding this photograph, it is a Getty's image photograph. If you go to the link, you can see the photographer, all those kinds of details, who took it. So what is the anomaly with this particular photograph?
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
Listen to this, folks.
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session. Vaxxed or masked?
Thank you, Rick.
It was a big challenge to come up with something that finally actually happened.
What did y'all think about that?
That was good stuff.
It's hard to believe, honestly.
Of course it is. It's really hard to believe, especially for, normal folks. We, like Gail said earlier, we have been conditioned to trust the media. And they've been doing this crap for a long time, pulling the wool over our eyes.
Yeah. And now when I see something on the news, I'm like, why is that on the news now? I question everything.
You have to.
Yeah. But I was trying to find the statement by, I forgot who it was, that says, when everybody believes 100% of what we're telling them, we will know that our operation has been successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Operation Mockingbird. It's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very real thing. Deasis, were you going to say something?
No, I'm taking all this in. That was trippy.
Yeah, and there's more. I mean, you can go and you can look, and there's Hollywood rappers, or there's Hollywood stars, there's rappers that they've talked about this stuff. And we all know that actors have their little stunt doubles, so that exists. We all know that presidents, not just in the United States, but in other countries, they have body doubles. So, I mean, they've gone that length, and we know what they can do with masks. They can make things look very realistic. Have you been to a haunted house? Have you been to a wax museum? They can make this stuff look real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as far as the media is concerned, we have got to, like you said, Gail, question everything. And the biggest thing is like Yasta said a little while ago, you know, what are they trying to distract me from now? You know? So, and we're going to get into that because we're going to go into point number 6. But I tell you what.
They're weapons of mass deception.
Yes, weapons of mass deception. So we're at we just finished point number 5, false flag. I tell you what, hey, Rick, can we just take guys, can we do a 5-minute break?
Oh, sure, take a 5-minute break, sure.
Do an intermission, go to the bathroom real quick.
Sure.
You know, let's
take popcorn.
Yeah, let's go get some. Let's take a 5-minute break. Let's let Rick go with the show for right now, and we will resume at 10:19.
Well, there we have it, folks. Just everyone listening in. We are here on the 6 Screens Telenetwork, and this is the Big Picture program with Jimmy Bell and his accomplice. We've got Gail, we got the Aces. They're on with us as well. So they'll be back with us in just a few minutes actually. And let them have a little break.
That was some great research. They've done a good job with that show.
Yeah, well, they're doing good. They're getting a lot of people coming in here on YouTube and Facebook. And eventually they're going to get more into the witness stuff as well, yeah?
Frank Church city that he mentions, that was named for a man named Frank Church. And he did mention churches in his... So that was about 1970 something. I'd love to hear that again.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. He'll get more into it. He's covering a lot of material tonight. It's a little bit different than Reese's programs, but he's trying to, take things a little slower. And we'll have people call in the end of the program too, so they'll be able to speak up.
I listened to an interview this week by the William Ramsey Show on YouTube. And it was a book I read years ago about missionaries called Thy Will Be Done. And I had a $40 copy in the Virginia library system, but I didn't know that the book is now hard to get.
Yeah, go ahead, Pixie. I'm sorry, I'm not following too well here. I'm just trying to take care of some technical issues at the same time.
Okay.
But,
I don't want dead air for you.
Oh, no, well, thank you.
The book was called Thy Will Be Done, and the interview was this week on the William Ramsey Investigates show on YouTube. And he interviewed the woman. It's a book about missionaries in South America. It would be very interesting to our audience specifically.
Yeah, well, that's something that we can consider. It's, we're trying to get eventually Jimmy here, maybe not tonight, but as programs to come. We want to tie Watchtower in with as much as we possibly can. That's our niche network. We are
right.
Watchtower.
If any of the listeners have YouTube, go to the William Ramsey Investigates, and this week the book was called Thy Will Be Done. And she talked about the book, what the book was about, and how they tried to take the book off the market. And it was a good synopsis of this true story in South America. Because I know a lot of the witnesses either were missionaries or wanted to be missionaries. So this would be of interest to them.
Yeah, well, they'll be coming back here shortly, Pixie. So we do have a number of people on the telephone line.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the rest of the show.
Well, thank you. They'll be back on soon, and they'll be able to take some questions, I'm sure, later on in the program. But anyways, it's good they could come on, and we're doing some different things here on YouTube. We do have the clip from YouTube up on our video suite, and that's up there right now. Not too much activity going on in the suite. Well, most of it's going on in YouTube, but and on Facebook too as well. So it's really neat. It's really neat to be able to have a program like this, and we do it every week, really, for the most part. A lot of witnesses can relate to taking the pill, so to speak. We all were kind of mesmerized and put to sleep by the Watchtower. And Jimmy, and of course even Reese, when they come on, they more or less explain that that's what's going on in this country right now. that Americans are being put to sleep. Well, looks like Jimmy's back at the helm here, ready to roll, and we'll get the others on as well. And I think we're just about ready to roll. We'll get Deasis on as well. He'll be coming on here very shortly. So, Deasis, we're just going to have to unmute you. You'll have to unmute your microphone, Deasis, if you can hear me. I unmuted it for you. Okay, you're all set. All right, Jimmy. Okay.
Thanks, Rick. Everybody good? Everybody back? Gail, can I hear you?
Yeah, you're back. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
The
All right.
feedback is good so far. Everybody's enjoying it.
Good. That's the whole point of this. I want people to enjoy it. I'm sure I'm going to have some haters and some trolls later on, but that's okay. I've been dealing with trolls. I've been dealing with them for 2.5 years, so
trolls.
Hopefully we won't have to deal with that. Deasis loves trolls. Y'all feed the trolls to Deasis.
I do. Feed the trolls.
All right. So let's move into point number 6. This is going to kind of tie in with point number 5 with the Operation Mockingbird. Let's talk about false flags. Okay. So I have some information that was provided by my research team, and it looks like they pulled this from Wikipedia too, so this will be good. A false flag operation is an act committed with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning blame on another party. The term false flag originates in the 16th century. So this is nothing new, folks. This is not conspiracy theory or just happened in the last 5 to 10 years. 16th century as an expression meaning an intentional misrepresentation of someone's allegiance. The term was famously used to describe a ruse in naval warfare whereby a vessel flew the flag of a neutral or enemy country in order to hide its true identity. The tactic was originally used by pirates and privateers to deceive other ships into allowing them to move closer before attacking them. It later was deemed an acceptable practice during naval warfare, according to international maritime laws, provided the attacking vessel displayed its true flag once an attack had begun. The term today extends to include countries that organize attacks on themselves. Let me repeat that. The term today extends to include countries that organize attacks on themselves and make the attacks appear to be by an enemy nation or terrorist, thus giving the nation that was supposedly attacked a pretext for domestic repression or foreign military aggression. Did you get that, folks? That's in Wikipedia. So, we know that the media likes to distract us from story to story. So when we say a false flag has occurred, and if you're following me on Facebook, I've been calling these things. I told people to buckle up because we're going to see a bunch of false flags between now and November. We just saw one a week ago with the Uvalde situation. That was a false flag. So a false flag doesn't mean that the event didn't happen. It just means that the wrong people are being blamed for it. That's what it means. And a very good distraction needed with a follow-up false flag was this right here.
Yeah, read my mind.
Let me read this. September 10th, 2001. Donald Rumsfeld holds a press conference to state that the Pentagon was missing more than $2.3 trillion. But the next day, something happened, and everybody forgot.
Enron. Wasn't that Enron?
No, 9/11, bro. 9/11.
I thought I thought the Enron scandal was part of that too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what the timing is on that, but you got this guy coming out on September 10th saying, "Hey, the Pentagon can't find $2.3 trillion." That would have been in the news for weeks, but they didn't want that information out there. So something had to be created. Now, when we talk about things being created, and a lot of people, believe what you want. I have my own opinion about 9/11. There's others that have their opinion about it. But we saw the use of masks, and we know how the mainstream media uses that to fool people. Rick, can we go to the whale clip and play just about a minute of that one, please?
Which one is the whale? Okay, we got it. Just give me a second here. It just takes me a second to get over there. Let's play the whale clip, Jimmy. So we're going to share that file right here, right now. Well, let me do that. We'll get the whale clip up. A very fascinating clip. I know your audience is going to enjoy it. Let's get it up and get it rolling.
$453,000 in affiliate commissions in 60 days without Amazon, Shopify, or Facebook. Is it possible?
Can you blow that up full screen, Rick? There we go. So, folks, what you see here is CGI holograms. And you got these whales and these porpoises flying above the crowd. You can see the type of technology these people have.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, that's cool.
Wow.
And that's just one clip. There's other videos. There's one of a dragon flying around a baseball stadium. There's one of a whale coming out of water at a high school gym. You can find this stuff. There's proof of CGI, holograms. This technology is out there, folks. So I'm not going to be the one to sit here and tell you tonight that there were no planes that flew into the building. I have my own thoughts on that. You decide what you believe, and we'll just leave it at that. Guys, y'all want to add anything on this one?
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that just, wow.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, folks, if you want to write down something to go research Project Bluebeam. Go check that out. That's very interesting. Okay. All right. So moving on. Number 7.
Hey, Jimmy, just before you move on, I just got to say one thing. We do have a number of people on our radio network, and just briefly explain to them what that whales, they're wondering what that might have been because they couldn't see it. So briefly explain to the radio audience what they were showing there.
All right. So for the radio audience, what you saw, there was a concert being put on by a group called Phish, Phish. And the arena that they were playing in was full of people. And what you had above the people and above the band playing were images of whales and porpoises flying above their head. You can go to YouTube and just put in whales CGI arena, and you should be able to find it. And if you don't find that particular one, there's examples of other ones on there. So they do exist. Is that correct?
And it's very lifelike. It looks very real. So if they can do it with that, what else is CGI is the question.
Exactly. So we've got them using masks that look really real. We've got them using images that look really real. And why are they doing it? to fool the masses.
Hey, you know what? That actually reminds me of something. So there's a lot of really, and this is another reason that I feel like you can't trust the media at all. I mean at all. My girlfriend actually just reminded me of a few clips that I showed her the other day of deep fakes. Now, Jimmy, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The Tom Cruise one. Some of the Tom Cruise ones, you know, they look so real. And some of the Richard Nixon, you know, videos, you know, they look so real nowadays. You really can't tell, you know, that they're fake. I mean, the technology, like you said, Jimmy, it's really getting that damn good. It's getting very good. I mean, it's scary. It's scary because, I mean, you can't, you know, you don't know what to believe. People could come back that do the CGI stuff and make a video of us sitting here saying different things that we actually didn't say in the video. The technology is just so good nowadays. So it's scary.
Now, I really try to bring truth to everybody, and I also give my opinion on things. But now let me go into a little bit of a speculation here, okay? Because just from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, there's going to be videos that are produced that will show these deep state players admitting to some of the things that they've done that's going to be used in court. These videos will be coming out. So why is the media, why did Watchtower just here recently do an article on deep fakes? Why is the media talking about these? Why are they talking about these things now? A lot of people think that, oh, this is just a story, we're not really going to pay attention. But maybe they're setting it up to where people don't believe these videos when they come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think like that. So yeah. So along with false flags, we have the CGI stuff that could happen. We've explained what it is. That it doesn't mean the event didn't happen. It just means it's being blamed on someone else. January 6th. Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started.
Don't get it started.
But another thing. Yeah, let me move on to the next thing. Anyway, so another thing that they can use are crisis actors. And so let's see what Wikipedia says about them. A crisis actor is a trained actor, role player, volunteer, or other person engaged to portray a disaster victim during emergency drills to train first responders such as police, firefighters, or EMS personnel. Crisis actors are used to create high-fidelity simulations of disasters in order to allow first responders to practice their skills and help emergency service organizations to prepare and train in realistic scenarios as part of a full-scale disaster exercise. Sounds reputable. Sounds good. I'm sure we need some people doing that. But Wikipedia, under the subheading conspiracy theories and defamation, they like to use conspiracy theory in Wikipedia. In the United States, the term has been used by conspiracy theorists who falsely claim that mass shootings and other disasters are staged and victims and their families are being played by crisis actors in order to pass gun control laws. That's what they say here. Why they pick gun control laws? Why couldn't they pick another? They put that in there. Conspiracy theorists' use of the term is thought to have originated in 2012. And go to Wikipedia to look the rest of that up, because I'm not going to mention a certain school that's mentioned in this article. So I'm not going to do that. Go look that up for yourselves.
Jimmy. Yeah, I'm actually going to have to get going.
Okay.
Yeah. But, hey, Rick, thanks for having me on the show. And, you know, thanks for having me, Jimmy. And good to see you guys. Hey, Gail.
Good to see you, Jason.
Yeah, you too. But yeah. So
I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right, Gail. So look at me and you now.
Okay.
All righty. So let's go into point number. I tell you what. Before we go into point number 7, let's take about 10 minutes of calls to now, because I think I can go through 7, 8, 9, and 10 pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and take about 10 minutes of phone calls. Rick, can we do that?
Yeah, let's do it. If you want to say hello to Jimmy, if you want to come in, say hello to Jimmy, say hello to Gail. They're on here right now live. So go ahead, let's open up the phones. It's *6, and come on, let's hear it. Go ahead. What do you want to say to Jimmy? He's on here, he's waiting. Just give him a couple of seconds here, Jimmy, so they can get oriented. But I'll break the ice. A lot of people, Jimmy and Gail, they may be hearing some of this for the first time. A lot of people are oblivious to it all. It's something that people are waking up to every day. They're hearing things on the news. They're going to, a lot of people right now are scratching their head wondering about what's going on in the world with inflation. That's just one starting point. Mm-hmm. And how did it change so fast? How is it that all of a sudden, like overnight, people are paying so much more for everything? Is this kind of just a coincidence, or is there some type of a plan set in place? Hey, run with us. Say hello to Jimmy. We got a number of people on there. Don't be a stranger. Hit *6. Come on. Say hello. Well, Jimmy, just give us a second here. People, I think, might have been sitting back and relaxing. They didn't expect. I told people they'd be coming on the end of the show, so some of them might be preparing for that. But if you're on with us, go ahead. Say hello to Jimmy. We'd love to hear you. That's hopefully the system's working.
Okay.
Yeah, no, hopefully the system's working.
Jimmy, can you?
That was
Hold on. Pixie, hold on. Pixie, we got someone before you. Come on after the man. Go ahead, sir, from New York.
So when it comes to the war in Ukraine and you watch it on the news, you don't see a rocket fired. You don't see a soldier shooting a gun. It's like it's just smoke and mirrors. I can't find any footage of a war being fought in Ukraine.
Yep.
So I think it looks like Zelensky was a TV Martin Sheen, West Wing over there. So is that whole war a wag-the-dog production, do you think?
I totally agree with you. Totally agree. Because even the media had to come back and retract some video footage that they aired because it actually came from a video game. The fake news put up a video game footage of a plane being shot down, and they had to actually retract that because the digital soldiers debunked it really quickly. So yeah, totally agree with you.
Okay.
What do you think is behind that? If all the fertilizer in the world comes from Ukraine, and they had some starvation thing in their past, I forget the name they call it, but it's like the Holocaust of starvation that happened over there.
Yeah, it was that. I think I was in reference to the Armenian
ritual of suffrage that goes on, a cycle of suffrage, and it seems like there's a bloodlust in a sense of why these things are perpetuated.
I'll tell you, if you don't mind, I'll tell you my first. There's several agendas going on over there, I do believe. But let's just take the one that's popular in everybody's mind right now, because there's several agendas over there that the deep state's trying to do. But what did Bill Gates come out and say, oh God, about 3 to 5 months ago? What was going to hit next? That there was going to be a smallpox outbreak? Remember him saying, Gail, do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that we're not going to be ready for the next one or something like that. Or we'll be better prepared for the next pandemic.
Yeah, so he was already prepping the people, predictive programming that another virus was going to come into play.
Yeah.
But since we know that there is a global alliance and we know that there are 33, interesting number, biolabs in Ukraine, that's what Putin went after. And then you had, oh God, what's her name? Victoria Nuland come out and said, oh, we're worried because we don't want the information getting into Russia's hands. Well, what are you worried about? Why are you so worried? Oh, I thought they didn't exist. So I do believe, I don't know the name of the caller, but my first instinct is on this, that he went over there to take out the biolabs first. There's other things he's doing, but that's the main one that I do believe is going on. Just my opinion, and certain things I've looked at. All right. Anybody else want to chime in real quick?
Yeah, Jimmy, can you hear me?
I can. Who is this?
Oh, this is Tracy. How you doing?
I'm good, Tracy. Thank you for all your hard work, dear.
Oh, thank you. I was also wondering that one of the reasons that that he went after so hard Ukraine was because of Hunter's involvement in Ukraine. Is that correct?
That's another agenda there. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm enjoying your show.
Is that? Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Is that it, Trace?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tracy. Okay. So let's go ahead. Anybody else real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. We get some more on here, Jimmy, coming in now. Go ahead. Who's next? We got Michigan. We've got, let's see.
Pixie.
Pixie, go ahead, Pixie. Then we'll bring Michigan on. Go ahead, Pixie.
I had a question as to what hometown Matthew McConaughey really has.
You know what? If you go back and look at my Facebook page, as soon as that happened that Tuesday night, that Tuesday afternoon, whatever time of day it was, that Tuesday night it came out in the news that Matthew McConaughey's hometown was in Uvalde, Texas. I put it on my Facebook
that it was not.
No, that it was his hometown.
It was. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
so that it came out that it was his hometown, and on my Facebook page, I put out, oh, let's see how quick the media puts him out there. Let's see what happens. What did we see this week?
Yeah.
We saw him at the White House pushing gun control. So, yeah, I called that one. I'll go ahead and claim that one. I called it.
Well, thank you for answering that question, because I did wonder. And the other thing I wanted to point out, which you probably know, is the church committee was named for Frank Church, but he did also mention the churches. Houses of worship were mentioned in the church committee. So if you've got a way to get quotations from that, that would be very interesting, even though it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And what was the name of that?
You mentioned the church committee in your opening remarks.
Yes.
And, of course, it was named for Senator Frank Church.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
But that's why it's called the church committee. But Senator Frank Church in that committee did mention the churches.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We're going to get into talking about church.
You're doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate that, Pixie. Thank you. All right.
Well, we got Michigan and New York. If we get time for them, Jimmy, just quickly, Michigan, New York. You want to come in now? You want to wait till later?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead right now.
I'll wait till.
Go ahead.
I can wait till later because I don't want to. I can wait till later because I don't want to take away from where they're going.
Okay, that's fair. Just remember, yeah, come back in. Okay.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I saw a TED Talk by Bill Gates in 2015, and it was like an hour long. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing, what he was talking about. He was talking about that there will be a virus that will be coming around probably any time now. The virus he was talking about was COVID. Exactly.
Yep.
And he said that he had a shot starting to work on 3D fake meat because that there would be no cattle in a few years.
Yep.
And then he said that they were going to massively be able to decrease the Earth's population, maybe to around 1 million. And he said there'll be 2 classes. There'll be the upper class, which are the rich ones, and the lower class that will wait on the, do everything for the richest people in the world.
Yep.
But when he said that they were going to decrease the world's population, everybody started clapping. And I kept thinking, do they know what they're even clapping for?
Right.
You're talking about killing off 90% of the world's population. And everything he talked about is coming true. This crap's been planned for so many decades.
Yes.
And it's following the Communist Manifesto almost exactly how it was written, And it's just, and you shocked the heck out of me with those masks. I was dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's more videos of that too. So, well, hey,
okay.
Thank you for your call. I really appreciate it, and you are 100% over the target.
Well, look, Jamie, I love your show. I think this is great. I mean, you're doing fantastic. I love this kind of stuff.
Well, I appreciate it. Who am I speaking with?
Are you going to be on all the time? Are you going to be on here all the time?
Right now, it'll probably be every 2 weeks, maybe. We'll see. It's not going to be every week because I can't deal with this stuff in my head forever all the time. So it might be every 2 weeks. We'll see.
Sure.
We'll see what the feedback on the show is. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to point number 7.
Do you want to move on, or can we address a couple things in the comments?
Sure.
In the comment section? Can I
Sure.
do that?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
First, Jerry says monkeypox and smallpox, which was allegedly eradicated in 1980. My family members have the arm scars.
Okay.
She's talking about monkeypox and smallpox, and it's coming back now. And Flat Earth Rachel says the CIA initiated the term conspiracy theorist in order to marginalize being investigated.
Yeah, they didn't want people looking at the JFK assassination. So, yeah, conspiracy theory, the term conspiracy theory was born. And
now it's a derogatory term, but you're going to need a conspiracy friend, pretty soon to find out what's happening later.
Well, it's just like Watchtower using the word apostate.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
See, folks, this is why I went down this road first to eventually get to Watchtower, because we know that the fake news media does wrap up smear campaigns. We know that they demonize conspiracy theorists. Watchtower does the same thing.
It's very parallel. Yep.
You can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. As far as the monkeypox comment, don't y'all find it kind of funny that after the jabs, all these different things started happening? Monkeypox, people shedding. It's just kind of funny.
Heart problems.
Yeah, heart problems, people just falling out at soccer games.
Mm-hmm.
Are they covering for the ineffectiveness of something? I do believe so. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge on another episode. All right. So let's go into point number 7, and it is called Color Revolution. Now, I have been putting out on my page that this is one term that people need to understand what a color revolution is. Because it's very, very important. And I'm just going to say, after I do Color Revolution and Coup d'etat, we only have 3 more. But after I touch on these, I've had 2 cups of coffee and water. So, after I do this, I need to run in there real quick to the little boys' room. So I'll just let y'all know I'm just going to get up and go. And I'll be right back. I'm going to take a break. Anyway, all right, just me being me, y'all. y'all. That's all. All right. Color revolution, according to Wikipedia. It's a term used since 2004 by worldwide media to describe various anti-regime protest movements and accompanying changes of government that took place in post-Soviet Eurasia during the early 21st century, namely countries of the former Soviet Union, the former Yugoslavia, People's Republic of China. The term has also been more widely applied to several other revolutions elsewhere, including in the Middle East, the Asia-Pacific region, and South America, dating from the late 1980s to the 2020s. Some observers have called the events a revolutionary wave, the origins of which can be traced back to the 1986 People Power Revolution, also known as the Yellow Revolution, in the Philippines. Now, here we go. Russia, China, and Vietnam share the view that color revolutions are the product of machinations by the United States and other Western powers and pose a vital threat to their public and national security. So, let me kind of break this down to make it a little easier for you to understand what's going on here. Russia and China say these are a product of machinations by the United States and other Western powers. Okay. What are the Western powers combined together called? They're called NATO.
Mm-hmm.
NATO is part of the deep state. And the reason I say that is because there's three sections of their deep state globalist power. One, you have the religious, which is in the Vatican. You have the financial, which is in London. And then you have the military, which is in Washington, D.C. Where did NATO spring from? Okay. So what they do is they go in and they overthrow a regime and put their own puppet in. Somebody that's going, let's look at Canada, for example. Now, they didn't technically get overthrown, but look who's running Canada right now. He's a puppet of these globalists. Macron in France, Macron, he's a puppet. And what happens to somebody when they go against this deep state globalist agenda or they go against NATO? Well, there has to be a color revolution. And so let's look at Iraq, for example. Saddam Hussein did not want to continue paying the oil in dollars. He wanted to get away from the central bank and the Federal Reserve. That's going to be another episode. I'll explain more of that. But NATO didn't want that to happen because that takes away their power. So what did they do? They used their products of machination to go into Iraq, overthrow Saddam, in the story like it was a good thing they were doing, and put in their own puppet government. What do you think happened in the United States just here recently? Do you think we have a puppet government? I'll let you answer that question for yourself. So, was there a color revolution conducted on the United States? So, there's a list. I've got a list here. Let me get to it. I'll show you guys. When I printed off Color Revolution, I didn't realize it was going to be this many pages.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So they have done this in the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Georgia, Ukraine, Iraq.
Venezuela?
Huh?
Venezuela?
Yeah, I'm sure that's somewhere on the list. Mm-hmm. Venezuela, yes, definitely. Lebanon, Kuwait, Belarus, Myanmar, Malaysia, Moldova, all these countries, Iran, Tunisia, Egypt, Bahrain. It goes on and on. China. So when we say deep state, we're not talking about just the United States. They have infiltrated the world governments. They have their own little puppets in these countries to push their agenda. What do they want? What's their end goal? A one world government. How can you have a one world government if you don't got people playing your ball game. So you got to go get those people that are going to play your game and bow to your every whim and be controlled. And then fool the masses and spin it as being good. So what do we call this? We call it a coup. A coup, often, or a coup d'etat, often shortened to coup, hold on, let me slow down. Yeah, y'all know what a coup is a seizure and removal of a government and its powers. Typically, it is an illegal seizure of power by a political faction, rebel group, military, or dictator. What do we see going on in the world, folks? How many coups have we seen in our lifetime? How many have happened that we didn't even know about?
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, if you want to do some more research, like I said, we're just putting the frame together. Look up what color revolution is and go check that out because it's very, very interesting. It's a very deep dive. Okay, give me about 1 minute, folks, because I need to use the bathroom. Be right back. Fill the time, y'all.
Well, Jimmy, we'll be right back. You're on the 6 Screens, Telenetwork. And, well, it's amazing. A lot of people are just finding out for the first time a lot of the terms they haven't come to grips with, and Jimmy's trying to explain them. Yes, friends, you have to look around you. It's not the same world anymore. If you think nothing has changed, if you think everything is still the same, I don't know what planet you're living on, because we have seen monumental changes just within the last year. But I would really narrow it down. I would say within the last, I'd say the last 6 months, or even the last 3 months, have been very, very unique in the fact that so many things have happened. You see people in the store, they are complaining about high prices. You see people hoarding food. They're buying canned food. They're buying food that will be preserved for a while, like Spam and canned meat. You see people at the gas station. Why are the gas stations so filled? That's what I don't understand. We have gasoline up here in Massachusetts. It's the highest I've ever seen since I've lived here. I'm 73 years old. Gasoline is $5 a gallon. I've never seen that. But in other areas of the country, it's even more. So, many people are waking up and smelling the coffee. We got Jimmy back on with us, Jimmy. So you're back on, Jim? So you ready to roll or what?
I am ready to go. I feel a lot better.
Good man.
Were you ever on a road trip and there was like no gas stations for a long, long way? And you really had to go? That's where I was at here. Okay. All right. So we just covered color revolution and coup d'etats. Let's go on to point number 8 out of 10. And we are going to talk about the New World Order. Now, again, I'm pulling this information from Wikipedia. Look what they put again. Let's see if I can get it up here. New World Order. What does it say?
Conspiracy theory.
Okay.
That's my favorite subject.
That's what they say. So let's go to a clip. Now, I got this one, Rick.
Okay.
Guys, bear with me because I'm on YouTube and I wasn't able to send it to Rick. But I have it here and I'm going to try to hold it up to the phone or hold it up to the camera so y'all can hear it. So they say New World Order conspiracy theory. Well, let's go to a clip. Not that one.
I'm going to tell you the truth. Our darkest days are ahead of us, not behind us. And now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there.
It's clever that you stupid bastard. This should be the time because you really need world order, financial world order.
This alternative vision argues that ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. Order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
We are human. who develops a great narrative, a story for the future. But in order to shape the future, you have first to imagine the future, you have to design the future, and then you have to execute.
What?
What? Mm-hmm.
Say? So Wikipedia says New World Order conspiracy theory. What were these guys saying? Weren't they talking about it like it was real?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say so, Gail?
Oh, yeah.
So we're really talking about that. Okay.
Contradicting themselves.
What's that?
They're contradicting themselves.
Yes. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So what does Wikipedia say? The New World Order is a conspiracy theory which hypothesizes a secretly emerging totalitarian world government. Really? What do we see going on? You know? So, it says, the common theme in conspiracy theories about a new world order is that a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda is conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritative one world government, which will replace sovereign nation states, and all-encompassing propaganda whose ideology hails the establishment of the New World Order as the culmination of history's progress. Many influential historical and contemporary figures have therefore been alleged to be part of a cabal that operates through many front organizations, foot soldiers, to orchestrate significant political and financial events, ranging from causing systematic crisis to pushing through controversial policies at both national and international levels, as steps as an ongoing plot to achieve world domination. Okay, so let's break this down. All right. Causing systematic crisis. How many crises do we see happening all the time? It's like we go from one, it was gun control season, now it's monkeypox season, now it's gun control season.
Mm-hmm.
It was CV season, then it became Ukraine season. Systematic crisis. They are creating these crises. We see it. It can't be happening by accident. Let's look at pushing through controversial policies at both national and international levels. Well, what was the last thing that they tried to do at the WHO? They tried to get countries to sign over their medical sovereignty to the WHO. So that was a controversial policy, especially here in the United States. We have a constitution. Our constitution overrides any treaty like that. So, and then that's on an international level, because many countries did not sign on that. There was many countries that said, no, we're not doing that. That's why it failed. Now, they'll try to do it again in 2024, but I don't think it's even going to get that far. Now, let's look at controversial policies on a national level. Roe versus Wade, gun control. Those are controversial policies. These are things that they are pushing. So if Wikipedia is calling it a conspiracy theory, but we're seeing these things, does that make it a conspiracy theory?
No.
Think, folks. Think.
Right.
Open the minds. Okay. I showed the video, explained it. Gail, do you want to touch more on what you know and what you feel about the NWO?
Well, remember in 2020 when this whole thing broke out, they did a big concert called The Global Citizens, Become a Global Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody remember that? They were really pushing the idea of this one world order, become a global citizen. And I was surprised to see that pastors, well, I'm not surprised anymore, but they were involved in it. They were pushing it. You just look at the type of people that was pushing that agenda, become a global citizen and pushing the one world order. And of course, we're used to that term. And so when I heard it in the news, well, Daddy Bush has been talking about it for a long time. So it's not a new term. It's just we're making the connection. We're making the connection now.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's
Bush,
not a good thing.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I say Watchtower is part of this globalist agenda, because they push the whole everybody in the world all happy and loving and together, we're all living in harmony. There's no borders. We've heard Watchtower say that before, that the borders would be gone. That's what the NWO wants.
Yeah.
They also want, the Watchtower is okay with what, 7.5 billion people dying? What other thing is okay with a lot of people dying?
Exactly.
See the connection, folks?
Yep.
Are you starting to see this? And the thing is, it's not just George Bush 1, but George Bush 2, Clinton, Obama. All these folks talking about a new world order. And we just had a lady in Australia, a reporter said they were fighting for the new world order. So again, that goes into the media. If you go online and do a search, you'll find a lot of people saying it. So that right there just debunks Wikipedia and their whole idea that's a conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why we need to wake up and be the resistance before this happens. We need to be the resistance, but we need more hands on deck, because the whole idea of the Leninist Marxist agenda was the New World Order. Yep. And it's basically communism is what it is. And so these Marxists, they're trained to push the defeatist mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, well, the government is so big, we can't do anything about it. What can we do about it? And why even try? If you look that up, the Marxist-Leninist defeatist mentality, and then you see who was tied to that, I was absolutely blown away.
Oh, absolutely.
I was, the CIA released a document, I think it was released in 1975, and it's the KKE, thank you. It's the KKE of Greece that was pushing that agenda, the Marxist-Leninist agenda, which is the defeatist mentality. The group was disbanded, and they went underground into the Watchtower organization to continue their party work.
Yeah.
That is a KKE. So, it's the New World Order is nothing new. It's over a century, or so that they've been trying to do it, that they keep failing. So we need to keep being the resistance. And they're trying to put us to sleep with the movies, with the sports, but we have to stay alert, ask questions, think critically. Why are they showing this now? And we're connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots so quickly that I think they're speeding up certain things. Like, the gas inflation. I'm seeing $9.99 gas in California. That is horrendous. And I don't know if that's diesel or whatever, but I think the high gas prices could very well be the new lockdown, because who's going to want to go anywhere?
Right. Well, here's the deal.
My thought on that.
If we look back to what their agenda was originally, they wanted to, if they had their way, if they were in complete control, mm-hmm. we would still be in coronavirus lockdowns. Yeah. And businesses would have been destroyed. People would have died. So, we talked about that, in the After the Storm episode. But, so I'll tell you what, it's 11:07. We're going to have plenty of time, I think, to be able to take calls and stuff. But we're going to go into now what the 16-year plan is. And Gail, this kind of touches on what you talked about them speeding up their plan. Now, this next thing I'm getting ready to talk about, as I go through each point, just ask yourself, has this happened already? Did this take place? And ask yourself, oh my God, what are they trying to do right now? And I'm going to make a statement somewhere in this description of what I'm going to talk about that some of you might not like, but it's true. It's just no one, if you can debate me on that, go for it. But anyway, so this is the 16-year plan to destroy America. You've heard us use the phrase playbook. Know the playbook. Because if you know the playbook, think about in football, if the Dallas Cowboys have the playbook of the Miami Dolphins, they're going to know what the Miami Dolphins are going to try to do. So the Dallas Cowboys, even though they suck, we can try to counter that. So again, think of white hats, black hats. Think about what we've learned as far as the objective and what this deep state New World Order wants to accomplish. And think about the information that's being put out to lull the masses asleep, to deceive the masses. Think about all the things they use to try to deceive us. So let's go look at the 16-year plan. And this is the plan that was supposed to start with Barack Obama in 2008, and it was supposed to end with Hillary Clinton in 2024. So, in the first 8 years, there's a list of 11 things, 11 points that Obama was supposed to accomplish. Because we know that your presidents, especially these two people, they are puppets. So their strings are being pulled by who? The invisible enemy. The Illuminati, cabal, Rothschilds, the bigger people. All right. So 1, install rogue operators in government. And it gives the examples. Comey, Lynch, and Holder. Install rogue operators in government. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
Remove good guys from government. That happened. It says Valerie Jarrett and Schiffler. I can't read that one. Where's my glasses? I don't know who that is. But it says remove good guys from government. So they wanted to get out the people that stood for the Constitution, who stood for American values. So we know that happened. Fund terrorism. All this is supposed to be done under Barack Obama. So fund terrorism. This is to control the domestic terror, which is actually their foot soldiers. MS-13, ISIS, they were funded by the Obama administration. Leak classified intel, military secrets. How much intel went to China and Russia about our military? Who sold what to Russia? You're going to find out more about that too. Who sold information to the Mexican cartels? Who gave them weapons? Special access program sell-off. This says here SAP on Hillary's servers. So special access program sell-off. So Hillary servers were left open to people that wanted to fund the Clinton Foundation. They sent money to the Clinton Foundation to have special access to these servers, which means that puts information into people that shouldn't have that information's hands. Nuclearize North Korea and Iran. Did that happen? They were trying to. They were trying to get something built in Iran. They were posing, and the media definitely was pushing North Korea as being a potential nuclear threat. And there's a reason why, because that goes off into the next 8 years. So we'll come back to that one. Cut military funding. The Obama administration did that. They cut the military funding. Why would you cut our military funding? So that if there was a war, which we're going to get to that, our military would not be strong. Weaken the NSA and reveal programs. Well, what did we find out that NSA was doing? Thank you to Edward Snowden leaks. So that builds distrust in another government agency. Fund and supply North Korea and Iran. We know that happened. Weaken the command of generals. They did this bypassing getting rid of don't ask, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
That weakened the command of the generals. Target and weaken the conservative base. They targeted the Tea Party back in 2011. The IRS targeted them. There's proof of that. That happened. And we have, of course, mainstream media bias. We've already touched on that. Stage the Supreme Court. There's some people that believe that the situation with Antonin Scalia wasn't what we were told. Go look into that. Kill NASA's space supremacy. We know how many space launches did we have during Obama's, I don't even know, but I know that they were talking about defunding NASA and bringing it down. So I don't know too much about that, but we know that EMP risk. How many times we've heard the media push it? Oh, there could be an EMP attack. And relax borders and flood illegals. This creates new voters for the deep state globalist agenda. So what happened? Who left the border open? Well, Obama allowed the border to be open, and they flood the illegals, and yes, that all happened. There's a reason why all this stuff happens, folks. So those were the things that were done or positioned to be done by Obama during his 8 years. Now, in 2016, that torch was supposed to be handed to Hillary because we know that they rig elections. We'll get to that one day too. But the thing is they never thought she would lose. What happened in 2016 was that the American people saw through this bullcrap and they went out and voted like they never voted before. And it caught the deep state and the globalists off guard. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have enough of their cheating in play. So that's why they got so pissed off about 2016. Because 2016 to 2024, these are the things that the deep state wanted to do. World War III, real and orchestrated, planned like World War I and II. So why was the Obama administration nuclearizing North Korea and Iran? So that they would be the people that would attack us. If she would have got in, we'd have already been at war with North Korea or Iran, or both. And we, the United States, we were supposed to lose that war. And if we lose that war, because that was the orchestrated part, if we lose that war, then what happens to our Constitution? It goes bye-bye. That pesky Constitution is what they want to get rid of, folks. That goes on to the next one. Revise the Constitution. That's what they're trying to do, is get rid of the Electoral College. Infringe on gun rights, different things like that. Close the U.S. military bases globally. Population control. Pocket billions of dollars. Mass extinction event. These are all things that were supposed to happen under Hillary. Ban the sale of firearms. What do we see? Destroy censor opposing news outlets. What do we see? Eliminate final good guys in government. Install corrupt Supreme Court justices. Open borders. Kill the economy, starve, and enslave the public. Remove the Electoral College and install the popular vote. And limit or remove military funding. Now, Gail said within the last 2 years, we've seen a ramp up of these different things. And you know what we're seeing right now, folks? In 2016, we had Trump come into office. He threw their plan off. And now they are trying to get back on track with this plan. This is why you are seeing so much bullcrap in the world right now. This is exactly what it is. They are trying to institute their plan to go to a one world government. I mean, if we just look at remove the Electoral College and install popular vote, well, why do you think they wanted to relax the borders and flood illegals into the United States under the Obama administration? So they'd have all these new voters that they can use to use the popular vote. So we maybe can talk about that sometime later. What's your thoughts on all that?
That's a lot. I can see why people shut down.
Yeah.
Because just in the 10 points that you covered, you said earlier, you can do an hour show on each one. I mean, I have some points that I didn't even get to bring up, but it can be overwhelming. But the number one question should be why? Why? What is it leading to? What is all this leading to? Why? Keep doing your research, and I'd say just keep resisting. We need to pray too.
Well, here's the thing, and here's the reason why I'm doing this is because people get so stuck in their everyday life that they got to go to work, they got to take care of their yard, they got to take care of their family, take care of their pets. They might get a little bit of time on TV. they're living, normal people around the world are just living their lives. And they have not taken the time to find out what's going on behind the scenes. What are these people trying to do to us? And so I think we've established tonight very clearly that, yeah, there's people out there that want to enslave mankind. You know, they have kept us, I feel like we've been in slavery for a long time, especially debt slavery. Yep. They've just given us an illusion of freedom.
Right.
This is what has happened. Your voice, okay, let me go ahead and talk about this one. Your voice matters. Yeah, that's what they've said. But that behind the scenes, they've been using the color revolution tactic and coup to put in who they want. But things have changed, folks. That's why in my intro I said the world is changing. There is a resistance going on right now. There is a global alliance. There are people learning facts every day about this stuff. What do you have to gain power? Knowledge. And if you know what they're trying to do, you can combat against it. And the more people that know this stuff, the more people will pass it on and wake people up. Yeah. Because there are good guys behind the scenes not wanting this crap to happen. But they can't do it by themselves. They have to have the people supporting them. And that's why it's so important that we don't fight against each other.
Exactly.
That's what they want us to do. They want it. Have I mentioned a lot left versus right tonight? Not a lot. It's us, the people of Earth, versus the people that want to put in a new world order.
Yeah.
That's what we're fighting against. So this is why I don't get involved in conversations when somebody wants to go left versus right, because that's not even the deal right now.
That's a small-minded conversation.
It is.
We need to see the big picture.
Exactly. Exactly. And so if we continue to fight, oh, well, the Republican, the Democrat, or God, atheist, blah, 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 blah. If we continue to do that, we are just helping them accomplish their goal by keeping everybody divided. And so here's the good news. Point number 10. If you follow me on Facebook, you've seen me post Think Chess, Art of War. One quote from Art of War by Sun Tzu is, appear weak when you are strong and appear strong when you are weak. So whoever's out there screaming at the rooftops, Chuck Schumer, for those that are screaming at the rooftops, they're not in control. They are reacting to things that have been done. Countermeasures have been put in place. So who appears weak? Oh, we got him now. Nothing's going to happen. Then something leaks out. But let's think about the game of chess. I do believe, and I saw this, someone said in the comments that I seem very optimistic. I am optimistic because, folks, we have two choices. We can either wake up and realize what's going on and fight against it, or we're screwed. That's the two choices. Which one do you want to do? So I believe I'm totally optimistic about things working out. I see things going on. If they were in control, certain things wouldn't be happening right now. But in the game of chess, I don't know if any of you play it. I play. And you're usually thinking 7, 8, 9 moves ahead. And when you're halfway through a game of chess, you can look at the board and you can figure out if you're probably going to win this game or not. You feel like you have all the pieces in place to where you can win this game. So you're going to make certain moves because you're thinking 8 moves ahead. You're going to make certain moves to where you want to draw your enemy in so they'll give up a piece. So that's why some things are allowed to happen, because you never interfere with the enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. Let it happen. Then you collect the evidence, then you take it to court, and then you can have a good case and get the conviction you need. Now, on the other side, you have the loser looking at the board And they're like, ah, crap, this dude's going to beat me. And so you try to make different moves, hoping that they make a mistake. So when you realize in the game of chess, you have two choices if you're the one thinking you're going to lose. You can either go ahead and resign the game and say, fare thee well, dear opponent, or you can fight to the end until you make them put you in checkmate. That's where we're at, folks. Criminals just don't give up. Just because they've been caught, think about it. If a robber goes into a bank, robs the bank, the cops are outside, and the robber's running to his car, do you think he's just going to stop and say, oh, you got me? No, he's going to get in the car and he's going to go on. And he's going to fight to the end. And then when he goes to court and has all this evidence against him, do you think he's going to say, oh, well, yeah, you guys got me? No, he's going to deny it to the end. That's where we're at, folks. These people are in the fight for their life, and they're going to fight to the end. So when I say that, yes, you're going to see false flags between now and November, and this is going to be crazy. And the thing about a war, we've already established that we are in World War III. No one knows the end of the war, the date, but we know it's going to end. So I do think the best is yet to come for America and the world. And here we go. That's my spiel tonight.
Wow. Did it in under 3 hours.
Yeah, we're at 11:25, so.
Can I make a
Anyway.
Can I make a comment?
We can take the rest of the show, or ever how long Rick wants to. We can just have a conversation now, folks. Thank you.
All
for
right,
listening.
we got some people.
Yes, Daniel.
We got some people. Go ahead, Daniel. You're on with us from Michigan. Go ahead.
You know, I just got to say, I love you guys' show. You guys, you bring the knowledge, you bring the proof. If people don't believe it, they just got to go and do their own research. What I find fascinating, okay, just to give you a tiny bit of history about myself, I'm an empath. So I feel energy. I use kinesiology, which is, if you're familiar with muscle testing, it's a matter of testing truth versus false. I mean, energy is energy. You can actually muscle test whether something's a true statement or a false statement. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times I share on this show, I share my feelings, what I'm feeling like, where the direction of the world's headed. But you guys are actually providing facts. I just share what I feel is going on, and people can take it and leave it, or just think, oh, he's feeling whatever. But what you guys are providing is facts, and people need to start fact checking. They need to start doing their own research. It's like, look at the people that wake up with the Watchtower. There are certain individuals that just feel like something's not right with the Watchtower. What is it? And they go through their life, however many years, and finally something triggers something, and they start doing their homework and realize their gut feeling was right all along. It's the same thing we're going through in the world today. There is a huge shift. And something I want to point out is a few years ago, we were kind of headed in a direction. It was almost like we were getting ready to go into a race war of the racism and everything going on. Then all of a sudden, it was still there, but then we're attacking family members on who you voted for. So whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you were attacking each other. Not you guys, but I'm saying individuals where I saw this on my own Facebook account with my own relatives that were never Jehovah's Witnesses, but whether who voted for Trump or who didn't vote for Trump, it was almost embarrassing to watch people chat where everybody can see it, and they were attacking each other, willing to ruin their...
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold on 1 second. In fact, Jimmy, what happens here is the phone line kicks off automatically every 6 hours. So just hang in there for about a minute, and we'll get it back on. So don't you worry, we'll get Daniel back on with us.
He was about to make a very good point.
Yeah, so just give it a second. We'll get the phone back up. This happens, sad to say, every week, but it runs for 6 hours.
Welcome into the live Six Screens conference call.
Hang in with us.
We thank you for joining in. To speak up and talk, press *6 on your telephone. When you are done talking, press *6 to mute yourself. Remember, when you are unmuted, your phone is a microphone and picks up on all noises in the background. We hope you enjoy the programs tonight. You will now be placed into the conference.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. Thank you. There are 19 participants in the conference.
Wow.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right,
Well, let's go back. We're going to go back to Daniel. Hold on, Kurt. Daniel, come on back with us. We had some issues with the phone line here. Daniel, back on with us?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I just thought maybe I didn't make any sense.
No, Daniel, let me just step in for a second. You made absolutely great sense, because when you mentioned the fact that they were pushing a race war, yes. I said in the beginning that we are in an information war. We are not in a shooting war or a fighting in the streets war. But the deep state does not like that type of war. They want the chaos. They want the bloodshed. So they were going to push things that would actually inflame citizens and getting them fighting against each other. So yes, that's what they were pushing for. And I'm going to tell you right now, the riots are coming again. This summer,
The recording has started.
There's going to be riots.
I
Go ahead, Daniel.
agree with that 100%, and I just feel like just to go off of what you guys have shared tonight, people need to realize, go back to when you were a Jehovah's Witness and you realized something was not right in the pit of your stomach. Yep. You eventually listened to that. You eventually started to do your own research. Now's not the time to stop doing your research. Follow your gut. Listen and realize there is a much bigger picture of things going on. And the crazy thing is, and you guys can correct me and say if I'm wrong, I feel like it's went into hyperdrive. Things have shifted so quickly. It's like they're trying to make up, I'll say it this way, because Hillary didn't get elected as president, they're speeding things up in a hyperdrive. And if we're not careful, we're going to be caught off guard.
Absolutely.
You are prepared for what's coming.
You are 100% correct on that. They have put it, and here's the thing. Over the years, over the decades, they have done this slowly. They have creeped it in. They were in it for the long. I think we talked a little bit about this, Gail, and after the storm, but they've done it slowly. They've incrementally passed laws that would take away certain rights, the Patriot Act. They've done things slowly so people didn't see it. People didn't know it was happening. But now it's happening so fast that people can see it. So for all those years, maybe let's just say the last 25 years, you had people out there that were saying, these people are planning some crazy crap to do to us. And then the people were like, oh, no, you're not. You're just a conspiracy theorist, blah, 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 blah. And now they're starting to see that these folks were correct, that what they were trying to do to all the people of the earth was to control them and to get them under this one world government. And so sometimes you can't just tell the people, like the people that have been talking about this for a long time, you can't tell the people, you have to show them. And it's not until people have reached the precipice that they have the will to change. So each person reaches the precipice. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just thinking, as you were saying, think of it, for the ones listening, think of it from a different angle. Nowadays, I especially noticed it more so when Trump took office, okay? It was the first time I had ever seen people really start attacking each other on who you voted for.
Yep.
Now,
if you look at that, is people were getting sucked into that energy. They were falling right into the trap that they wanted. This whole thing, yes, there are ones that didn't expect Trump to become president, but you also have to look at, it is still a bigger picture. It's a trap to get us all sucked in to be fighting and bickering with each other. Because if you look at a new world order that they're trying to do, it isn't going to matter whether you're Democratic or you're Republican.
Exactly.
You're going to be, if they were to be successful, we would all be stuck in that order. It wouldn't matter your belief system. It wouldn't matter your religious. It wouldn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. This is a game. They're playing, like you said, a chess game. Seeing 9 positions or 9 steps ahead. There are people out there that, yeah, maybe they didn't expect that Trump would actually become president or whatever, but they still are trying to be ahead of the game, and now they're playing catch up.
Yep.
We have to start feeling our own gut, allow our intuition, allow our own feelings, and do our research, because people on here could be thinking, well, this is just another conspiracy show or it's another whatever. I'm telling you right now, I'm sure you would agree with me, this is a wake-up call.
Oh, totally.
Wake up and rise and be ready.
Let me, Daniel, you are absolutely correct. I agree with everything you said. I'm totally in agreement with it. So thank you for the call. I do appreciate that, Daniel. Let me read something to you guys that I wanted to share. Division is man-made. Division is designed to keep you powerless. Division is designed to keep you fighting each other. Division is designed to keep you enslaved. The narrative has you. The Matrix. No one person is above another. Unity is strength. Unity is love. Unity is humanity. Trust yourself. Think for yourself. Only when good people collectively come together will positive change occur. And this is why I'm so optimistic, because I think people will eventually choose the side of love, not only for their family, but for their fellow human family. I do believe that. So yes, folks, I'm very optimistic that good things are going to happen. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like, oh, this is never going to end. We're all screwed. Da, 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 da. That's that defeatist attitude that Gail talked about. Are you already giving up?
Mm-hmm.
You fight for, you're not just fighting for yourselves. You're fighting for your family. You're fighting for your loved ones. You're fighting for your future generations.
Future generations, yeah.
And like I said before, and I've said this a couple of times, this is not a left versus right thing. So don't come at me with political discourse and try to debate me in that, because I won't do it. I'm not going to participate in, oh, well, you're this and you're that. I'm not going to do it. So, because we have to come together and fight this. If we don't, like Daniel said, we're screwed. All right. Anybody else want to chime in?
Can I share one other thing?
Sure, Daniel, go ahead.
Okay, so 2 days ago, I know this is going to sound silly to some of you guys, but I was feeling shifts in the energy, and what I felt, okay, you got to understand, I'm an empath. I'm not psychic.
I got you. I'm an empath too.
I only feel what is currently going on. If the course doesn't change, the direction it could go down. It's not that I can foresee the future at all. But what I felt, and this is something that shifted 2 days ago that I have never felt before, but it's something I've talked about before, but I never saw it before. And it's this. I see some very dark days coming for us. If the course continues to go down the path that it is, it's going to get, if we think things are hard now, it's going to get way worse. But here's the interesting thing. I saw a shift. And you know what it was?
What'd you say?
It was an awakening. And people are going to laugh at me because I've talked about this for years on Six Screens. It comes back to unconditional love. It's a shift of the vibration that actually, I don't know how it's almost like instead of us rising up and saying taking arms and you're shooting one another, it's a whole different vibration that I've ever felt before. It's like there's enough of us out there that have that that vibration of unconditional love, and it's something in that itself is going to shift everything. So this is, yes, we're going to go through some dark times, but what I'm seeing or feeling is there's something about love. It's actually going to shift everything. And I'll just leave it as that because, like I said, I'm not psychic. I can only tell you what I feel. And I had never, it was 2 days ago that I started to feel this, and it's love. It's something about love. It's going to shift things. So I'll leave it as that.
Daniel, thank you so much for that. I totally agree with you.
Daniel might be psychic. There was a young man from Harvard. He's a D.C. native. He was on C-SPAN yesterday, and he's a young black man who was giving a lovely speech about love, and it was talking about nonviolence. So maybe Daniel is psychic.
I tell you. Go ahead.
Listen to 4 hours of Harvard medical lecture, so you all don't have to. And in the medical lecture, it was noted that someone that had a smallpox vaccination 48 years ago still had immunity to smallpox.
Yeah.
So I listened to that Harvard lecture, so you don't have to.
Well, thank you.
My advice is always pack a pen, a toothbrush, and a spoon.
There you go.
Hello?
All right, who's that? Who's the hello person?
Well, Kurt Hatfield, I hope I didn't interrupt Pixie there. I don't know if she was done or not, and I enjoyed hearing Daniel. I remember Daniel back on the Six Screens. I want to tell you guys, both of you, that your program's really good. And I have seen you on Spirit Analyzer and the program that was on YouTube before that. And I've enjoyed your program. I'm glad that you two were on tonight on Six Screens. I'll kind of make this real quick. I want to get a clarification. I hope you don't get mad at me for asking.
No, I don't get mad. No.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking my call, you and Rick. Here's the question I have, and you can answer it, and then I may comment another little bit. Okay. But are you equating the Watchtower with the New World Order? That would be my question.
100%.
Good question.
Okay, now let me comment on that.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I think that I'm going to state the obvious here. We may end up disagreeing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
The New World Order, that phrase and used in the political world, in Satan's world, has a completely different meaning from the Watchtower. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I think we can agree to this. Their New World Order, their one world government, is their interpretation of the Scriptures. And in the political world, it's an entirely different thing. I could go on about it for half an hour, but I won't bore us with it. But I do want to say that I absolutely separate the two positions of the Watchtower versus the political world, the New World Order.
And I have many reasons for that. I have to get in a big preaching thing, which I'm not going to. But anyway, I just want to say that I'm not doing it in defense of the Watchtower. I'm doing it because I think it is unfair, and I think it's unreasonable.
Were you a Jehovah's Witness ever? How long? And how long, if you were? How long?
Well, since I was raised, since I was born, but I've been away.
How old are you?
56.
Okay, I was raised the same way. But I just got to say right here, just think about it for a minute. We were raised talking about the new system of things, the new order. And like they said earlier, all the borders were going to be open. People were going to be happy. And everything was just going to be la la land, great and everything. That's what the governments are promoting. They're being deceptive, thinking it's going to be better. Like you own nothing, but you're happy.
I have to interrupt you. I'm going to say this, and I'll stop talking. I'm going to say this. The scriptures are very clear that the world, this earth, is going to be repossessed by God and Christ. That process, whatever exactly it will be.
What do you mean repossessed?
Hey, guys. Let me step in here for just a second, because I can see this going in a direction that I do not want it to go. I can understand that where this gentleman is coming from. I wouldn't mind having a private conversation with to see what he has to say, because I do respect everyone's opinions. I do respect the way people feel about things. And so I'm going to go ahead and head this off of the past, not to be disrespectful or anything, but just because, well, I could see this going in a direction that's not going to be cool. And that's not what I'm about. So thank you for your thought on that, because as you noticed throughout this whole program, I haven't mentioned anything about religion. I ain't said a word about religion. And I wasn't going to.
I hear you. I hear you.
So,
but to be fair, if you equate the Watchtower with the New World Order, then you're talking about religion.
Or am I talking about a corporation?
You're still talking about a religious corporation. You're talking about religion. Now, I'm not arguing for the Watchtower. I'm not arguing for it.
I got you. But in response to that,
I'm trying to make a simple, clear, reasonable statement.
So let me just ask you this real quick.
In my opinion, and I don't hold it against you, I think you're a fine dude, but I'm just saying, you invite callers to come on and give us thoughts, and I want to be as kind as I can, but I'm absolutely certain in my mind that if you are equating the Watchtower with the New World Order, and they're thinking the same thing, they're on the same ship, that is a false teaching. It's not true. It's not true. I'll shut up and let you get back. Other people want to talk. I don't want to make you mad.
Oh no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. See, this is the thing with me. I don't get mad.
I found a bridge too far. That's just too far.
That's
the idea is the same of a new world order, but they are not on the same ship.
I have a comment. Sir, I could give you paragraphs. Bitchute, hold on one second. We gotta go. Bitchute.
And that's all I'm going to say about it.
We gotta go in order here. We got a whole lot of people, Jimmy, that want to come in, but they have to be orderly way.
I appreciate that caller's comment. I think the only question now, I'm going to throw this question out there, and I want you to think about it. Maybe we can talk later. But according to you, what biblical reference are they pointing to? Their belief or someone else's? That's just, anyway. So, yeah, I think with the information that I presented tonight, this is stuff that we've definitely seen happen. This is not something that's in the future or somebody's interpretation. What I brought to the table tonight was facts, things that we can actually see that have happened. And with what we have seen, yes, in my opinion, I do believe Watchtower is tied completely to this. And like I said before, we were putting the frame together tonight. Once we get into the middle of talking about a certain subject, then we can go a little bit further on that. But anyway, so we're going to take the next caller. Who wants to speak up next?
Let me
Hold on, Daniel. Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me. We got to go in an orderly fashion. If you've already spoken up, just hold on. We have two women. The lines are lighting up here like crazy. So let's go with we got two girls in there. Let's go with the first one. Go ahead.
I don't know if that's me or not, but I just wanted to say that the New World Order goals are a lot like the New World Order goals that the Jehovah's Witnesses have. Exactly. And in fact, if you go down to the Bible, you can actually, like the one world government, the one world religion, these are all the same goals that the Jehovah's Witnesses have. So saying that they don't line up is to misunderstand the fact that the Jehovah's Witnesses have a totalitarian mindset of control, the same type of control that the government is trying to pursue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's the same. Same type of control. All right. Thank you, Tracy.
Jimmy?
Yes.
Please let me apologize. This is Debbie. I kind of got aggressive a minute ago on the phone with the other gentleman, and I'd like to apologize to him too.
You're passionate. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, and see, and I could tell that was going to happen. So I could tell because we all get passionate about what we believe in and what we feel is happening. I get that, but that's where we have to remember to be respectful to one another when we're speaking. And we've got to just take a time and for a second, listen to what the person is saying, and then respond with a question. I think it was Daniel was saying, we have to do these, we have to communicate with unconditional love. What's the one thing that was absent in the Watchtower? Unconditional love.
Right. Unconditional love.
Totally. Yeah. And so
well, I just wanted to apologize if I came across disrespect.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. We didn't cross no lines here. So you're good. Appreciate that. All right. Who else wants to chime in? We got about 10 minutes, folks.
Could I give you my phone number?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to send it? You just want to email it to me?
I don't mind. I can give it to you online. I don't care who hears it. Okay. If someone wants to call me, they'll call me. Okay. It's 906 251 8487. I would love to talk to you guys because what's that?
What was the name?
Daniel. That's Daniel.
Oh, this is Daniel. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there's a connection here. I don't mind saying this online or over the call. Is I feel like I could also offer a perspective, being able to muscle test, and where you can actually muscle test true and false statements. It's like when you watching the media. You can intuitively feel this is a bunch of, BS or whatnot, and you sort through that. But with muscle testing, you can actually go much deeper into it, and you can see the cover-ups, and you can muscle test whether things are true or false, and it can lead you down. Yes, you can go down a path with it, but it's very interesting when you're able to feel energy, and also there's so many other people out there providing information, but you have to also be careful of that too, because not everything that's coming to you is in line with truth. And so you have to weed through that information, and being able to muscle test has been something for me that it's been an interesting journey, because you look at the media, you know what the media is doing, but you read between the lines and you feel the energy and where it's going, and it kind of it's kind of like doing your own research, but it's in a different way. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Let me share this with you guys real quick. Oh wait. Let me just respond to Daniel's thing. I'm an empath. I'm intuitive. I feel things, and it is hard to explain, but I've gotten to the point now to where I just let the universe, tell me where I need to go. Like this whole program only came about because Gail asked me to be on her show. And I was like, yeah, sure, let me be on your show. Okay? And then I seen in the comments, somebody said, oh, Jimmy needs his own show. And I'm like, huh, okay. So it's just the universe telling me stuff. If I listen, good things come. And so there's a lot of people, that's why I like the idea of that muscle testing, because I don't know much about that. But if you learn just to trust yourself, trust your own instincts, and know that anything that you're trying to do, as long as you're trying to do it for the good of humanity, you're not being selfish, you're not looking for an ego trip. Some people in the JW community. But if you're doing this willingly and unselfishly, good things will happen. And so I totally agree.
The thing about muscle testing, in a way, it just validates what you already feel. A lot of times, like if you go to ask yourself a question, you're going to muscle test it. You already know the answer before you even go to muscle test it. It's just a way of validating what you already feel. So it's a unique tool to have, to be able to use, but I appreciate you saying you're an empath, because I knew there was something about you. I was like, because I felt a connection there, and so
we've got a number more people here. Jimmy.
Daniel, we'll talk later. I appreciate you calling in, buddy.
We have got the lines are lighting up like crazy here at the 6 screens. I mean, we're going on.
Rick.
It's midnight here, and lots of people still want to come in.
I'm Joseph. I would like to say something.
Hold on, Joseph. I got to bring some more people in. They were here first. Hold on, Joseph. I want to bring in area code 208. They've been waiting patiently. 208, come on. You're on with us. Say hello to Jimmy. You're on with us. Go ahead, 208. Speak up. In fact, you're on now. You're ready to go. You're ready to go, 208.
Oh.
Yeah, you are.
Hey, guys. It's Beth.
Hey.
I just want to say hi to my best bud over there, Jimmy.
Well, thanks, Beth. Say, is it Beth?
I've been on his butt for a long time to do this, and I'm so proud. I'm about to cry.
Thank you, Beth.
This is the moment.
Well,
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
I just want to say I'm proud of you, and this is going to help the JW community come together like we should, because we're so divided, but I think this is what's going to bring us all together like we should, and I wanted to say that. And then also I was thinking, this is kind of out there, but Jimmy and I and some other ex-JW witnesses, we were there on January 6th, so I would like to maybe talk about that sometime, and maybe talk about our experience, because that was amazing. Very peaceful.
I tell you what, Beth, we'll definitely have that discussion sometime, and I would be bringing you on. And that was a great day. I totally enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was cold.
I'm let you go because there's a lot of other people on there, but I'm so proud of you, and this is amazing because we really need you. This was the time. It wasn't the time before, but now's the time. So.
Thank you,
okay.
Beth. Thank you, Beth. Love you.
Okay. Bye.
We got the man on that's coming first. Go ahead, sir. You're on with us. I forget what your name was, but go ahead. You're on with us. All right. We'll see who's
there was a Joe. Was Joe on the line?
Are you on there?
That is yes.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Yes, I was basically born in JW. Basically baptized at 17. Left about when I was this fellowship about 25 for Bull. And never stopped believing in God or the Bible. But when basically I kind of started waking up to all this world globalization when Obama got into power and he was president, and I saw he was so divisive, and all the racial and divisiveness he was causing. So that kind of woke me up, and I was like, why would a world leader try to cause so much division instead of trying to unite the country? So that kind of woke me up to politics. I never loved in politics until then, and that's when I started realizing there is an actual globalist agenda, which usually is involved with kind of that Luciferian ideology. Yes, and now I'm really woke to all the stuff, including using, being that I think the deep state and the globalists are using the vaccines to basically kind of depopulate the world, and they even say it in the Georgia Guidestones.
Yep, you are, again, over the target. Yes, sir. One of the, you talked about what woke you up to politics was the divisiveness. You'd never seen that before. Well, I mentioned this on After the Storm, and what woke me up to the politics side of everything in March 2020 was, why is 45 getting slammed by the media? Why are all the attacks happening? Why? I've never seen a president attacked as bad as he was, and I didn't know why. And I didn't feed into the whole narrative that the media was pushing. I wanted to find out, why are they doing this? Mm-hmm. And that's what sent me down all the rabbit holes. And again, like I said, that's why this show is called The Big Picture, because there's a lot more, folks. There's a lot more.
There is.
So if you think tonight was information overload, there's so much more to learn. You learn something new every day. And so that's why I say you can't fight with one another over peddly crap. You got, so yeah. All right, looks like we got about 4 more minutes. So Joe, thank you for the call. I really appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, who do we have on next?
Hi, this is Danny.
Danny, welcome to the show.
Hi. I just have one suggestion for you. Look up what it is to become a U.S. national, and look up Bobby Lawrence and David Lester on Telegram.
Okay, what it takes to become a U.S. national?
Mm-hmm. U.S. national. Go and look up Bobby Lawrence.
Bobby Lawrence?
This is Bobby Lawrence.
And who was the other one?
David Lester.
David
Lester.
I'm sorry. David Lester. Okay, I'll check them out. Thank you.
Telegram. Yeah, that's because you know how there's 2 different constitutions, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Right, it's all about.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right, folks. Well, I'll tell you what. We're at 2:58. Okay, let me go ahead and end this. What I'd like for you guys to do, it's kind of like what we did on the roundtable, is we didn't have a pre-scheduled second show or third show. what we did is we evaluated what the audience would say in the chat, what they would say in the comments. If you found this video informative, because a lot of us are awake, but a lot of our family and friends are not. So if you found this valuable, please share it with others, okay? If you found points in the video that you want to know more about, let's comment about those, send me messages or whatever. That way we can get an idea of what the audience wants, because we want to make this important for you. We want to make this informative for you and do the best we can to get that information out. Like I said, you can reach me on Facebook. Just look up my name, Jimmy Bell. If I'm not banned or in Facebook jail, I will respond. But there's always that good chance that I could be there. I do have a YouTube channel. It's just straight Jimmy Bell. And let's see what else. I've had a good time tonight. I've really I've really worked hard on that this week. I wanted to do the best I could to bring that information to you guys. So I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to teach. I'm here to help people make a sense of what's going on, because we all have been indoctrinated. Every one of us, everybody has been indoctrinated. And for those that are
to give a quick appreciation to Gail too. Appreciate you, Gail.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yes. So I want to give a thanks to my team of researchers, Tracy, Lori, and Laurel. Thank you, ladies, so much. Stand by. We are going to do more stuff. Gail, thank you for being here tonight. I knew we were.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have fun?
I did. I actually wanted to make one last point, if I could.
Go ahead.
What Daniel was talking about love, and I wanted to talk about the frequency of feelings. Like, you can measure feelings, right, on a frequency. So on the frequency scale, anger and hate are on the low vibration of it, right? And
Yes.
love is on the higher vibration of the frequency. And so that's what Daniel was talking about. So the best countermeasure that we can do to overthrow all of this right now, the best countermeasure is what Daniel was saying: unite and do it with love, and do it with unconditional love, because they're trying to divide us and keep us in fear and lack and poverty and hate and anger, keep us in a low vibrational state. And we need to raise that frequency to love. So I just wanted to say that, but it was great to see all the students in class tonight. You talked about it, like you being the teacher. It was great. There were a lot of students here, and they said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so that's what happened tonight, because this would not have happened 2 years ago.
Real quick. Just real quick, just add one more word that's very powerful that they use to paralyze us. Fear. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing the Watchtower uses.
Why do you think
fear? Yeah.
Yeah, why do you think the tagline for the big picture, if y'all remember what I said in the beginning, where fearless minds prevail?
Mm-hmm.
So, do not live in fear. Do not freak out with what you see going on in the world right now, because it's happening for a reason. I would say be prepared. Keep your head on a swivel. It's going to get crazy. But remember, every time the media pushes something, if it incites fear, it is propaganda.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that more. But anyway, folks, I've had a wonderful time. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me. If you want my email address, go ahead and get it from Rick. But I had a blast, and hope you guys want me to come back and do some more. So, Gail, thank you for being here. Deasis, thank you, buddy, for being here. I had a lot of fun. I really did enjoy
This was fun. I can't believe it's been 3 hours already.
Yeah, so.
It's amazing.
All right, thank you, audience. Everybody, thank you. Hey, Rick, can you play the intro for the going out?
Yeah, we're going to play that going out, and I want to thank you, Jimmy and Gail and Deasis, and all the people that have been commenting lots and lots of comments, been on Facebook, been on YouTube. We really appreciate your efforts you guys put forth tonight. We'll see you hopefully in 2 weeks. We'll see you then. Thank you, guys.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Much
Bye,
love,
Jimmy.
everybody.
What our country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Welcome into the live Six Screens conference call.
What you can do for your country. Your country. Your country.
Okay, so I want to say thank you to everyone who stuck around and watched the replay of our very first episode. Thank you so much. I appreciate the comments as well. And I'm going to be uploading this to our Bitchute channel, and I will officially have every one of the Big Picture episodes on Bitchute after I get this one up tomorrow. So, yay! I'll put that link in this description as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because you never know when YouTube might get shut down or censored. I've already got one strike against me on YouTube. So there's always that possibility that they will take down my channel. So y'all have a great night. We'll see you soon. I think if you've watched episode 9, you'll find out that we are taking a break. We will return to the Six Screens Telenetwork on December 10th with episode number 10. And so stay tuned for that. Again, sending much love to everyone. Y'all have a great night.